to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. Jet, we Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairin', gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairin' on him. Ric Flairin' on him. Ric Flairin' on him. Ric Flairin' son up, baby.
Hey yo, Scotty, we back.
Yo,
Appreciate you for reaching
you a
out.
star.
I'm like, hey, it's Outspoken. A lot changed. Granted, the concept we still hosting. Giving you the fix you need when on the screen. The veteran, Captain Petty, giving you medicine. Come tap in. You know Scott gon' do what he do. Might not want to hear it, but here go the hard truth. Perry about the numbers, regret if you're not fact-based. When you run your lane, the numbers seem like a statue. Wait. Hey, Scotty, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think the people feeling it. Let me get in my bag a little bit, just showing what this Outspoken really about to be like. Outspoken, this is more than conjecture. These days they land people are so glad that we got our own. Hunger insatiable, made for you if you say you objective. Hard truth offering, no offense, just perspective. Come get your dosage and go with me. We spit it like poetry. The pivot was pivotal. Could rhyme here, but I'd rather not. Some say Scotty, some call him Scott. The best one since Stewart. If you know, then you know. But if you don't, then you're lost. Let me be frank for a minute, cause we all know that's how Perry be. Break it down the game for what it was, no apologies. This my hypothesis, you tune in, you like watching it. It's common sense, obvious, competent, rugged, and confident. Hey, we outspoken. We outspoken. We outspoken. This is Outspoken, and we gon' put on a show, even if we hear you say I can't speak. It's Outspoken.
Hey, backpack. I think we got another one.
What is going on, everybody?
you already know what it is. You are watching Outspoken. We are coming to you live today, straight in effect. And it could be nothing without my brother co-host, Perry White.
Oh, goddamn.
What's up, B?
What's up?
Now, you have been, we talked, and you said today we doing what?
Standing on business.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on.
We standing on business. Now, I don't got many shirt and ties, so I just want to, I'm Perry the kind of guy walk up to you, be like, I'm selling, bug termination. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm one of them white preppy salesmen. You know what I'm saying? Out here on Wall Street hustling. You know what I'm saying? Perry knock on your door. Would you
Go
like
from Wall Street to knocking on your door? I'm in all worlds.
But today we doing what?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm
standing on business. We standing on business. Perry, just give them a little preview of what we doing today.
Give them a little preview.
Just a little snippet, just a little small snippet.
But today we're going to be branding and marketing consultants. We're going to teach you guys one-on-one on some things that's happening in the world that's evolving that I think the mass amount of people aren't looking at when they're looking at why decisions being made, what's happening. I'm not understanding, but as you know, when you look at the world of communications, what we're doing right here, talking to people, giving information, the same way we look in the world of athletics and communication and broadcasting, is now a time to look at and really start to peel back some layers, right? You hear Scotty a lot of times talking about the conference and why the deals and what are we doing and why are we doing this deal and does this make sense? Where are the numbers? I think today's show will give people a little bit more idea of why those questions are asked, because I don't think people have truly understood the nature of the world of what we're looking at in communication and sports and how it is changing right before our very eyes without us even noticing it.
I love it. And listen, if you want to know, if you want to watch the full video of what we're chopping up today, it's in the link in the description below. And once again, we're going to break this thing down. And the only way we can do it is Elite with Elite 15 Coffee. Everything done on this channel on Outspoken is done in an elite way. Elite 15 Coffee, veteran-owned, black-owned. Get your day started in an elite way by shopping at Elite 15 Coffee. Link in the description below. And today, while we stand on business, it's going to be elite. It's going to be absolutely elite. Now, what I want to do now, I gotta give a caveat, and also I will be at the Alabama State spring game as well. But I want to give a caveat. I cannot show the actual video of the YouTube. So what I had to do is I had to put a cover, and you got to read captions. All right, so that's just how, and we have some screenshots to kind of help everything pair along of what they're talking about. And once again, if you want to watch the full video of what we're talking about, the link is in the description below. It's the ESPN decline video link. All right, so I'm just giving you the heads up. What you're seeing is not the video, but it is the video. I just had to cover it so I wouldn't get copyrighted. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna play you a little snippet of some of the decline video.
To about 500,000.
They're going to have to drop expensive studio talent, theoretically. They're going to have to drop secondary and tertiary sports.
Head of programming Roz Durant is confident the company won't transform into a simple portal for live games.
Live sports will continue to be the core of what we do at ESPN, but storytelling is such an important part of our business and an important part of the Walt Disney Company mission.
In a direct-to-consumer world, do you feel like there may be a different style of content discovery which will diminish the value of the studio show and take ESPN in maybe a different direction than what we've seen?
It wasn't too long ago where at least I heard the narrative over and over again that people don't need studio programming. Sports fans don't need sports studio programming. Well, If you look at our studio programming today, it is pretty much across the board. Our daytime lineup is up and to the right.
Now, what that first segment before we get into the money and the market cap and everything, I wanted to bring that section up with you, Perry, because I know we both watched the video. But I think people on top of live sports, ESPN would not be ESPN without First Take. ESPN wouldn't be ESPN without cold pizza in the beginning, without PTI. Those daytime television shows have been such an injection. Nothing's going to compete with live sports. We all understand that. They're the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, just the pure engagement of the sport. Nothing can compete with that. But my problem that I see from other networks and even smaller networks, or even, I think the SEC network does this really, really well, right? You don't see this from the Big Ten network that much, but the SEC network does it really well, is that we will combine what we have on tap with our own programming to make us into our own network. What do you say to that, P?
I like that, because what you're doing is going beyond. I think when you look at the world of consumers today, and you have to look at streaming is all about satisfying the customer, right? And not only that, when you look at programming, what ESPN, because one of my favorite shows growing up watching was Around the Horn, right?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, switch different people, had different personalities, had different perspectives on topics that was going on. Those shows gave you more than just the Sports Center, right? It gave you different ways on still how to incorporate sports, but then in funny different ways, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the programming, the same way with you talking about SEC Network. SEC Network does it good when they give you behind the scenes stuff. If it's nothing more than just an interview with legends, right? Whatever program, former coaches, it's just the value that you create from your past to your present that you lead into your future. ESPN has done it, and that's why you see First Take has been a show that has lasted as long as it has with Stephen A. and switched different people. I just think with that statement and what we heard right there, you hear programming matters during daytime when you outside of the game world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, it's what separates each network from itself, right? Because without the programming, everybody's the same. If we're being honest, everybody, unless you got the PS5, but you got the Xbox Cubed and you got the Nintendo game, they're all gaming systems. You just got your own version. But when you add programming, when you had Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip on the thing, you had Colin Cowherd, then you got Speak, you got First Things First, you got that section of programming. Then you have ESPN's First Take, Get Up. You have Around the Horn. You got PTI. You have Sports Center. You have all these programming that make their stations individually unique in their own way. So now you're making a decision. Do I watch Undisputed or do I watch First Take? You see what I'm saying? Do I watch First Things First or do I watch Get Up? Do I watch Colin Cowherd or do I watch PTI? It's a lot of those decisions. And I think where the smaller conferences are missing the boat is that you have to get a part of this programming and not go out and purchase talent. Just go get the guys that are already doing it at a high level and partner. Now I have my own version of what I would deem my programming. Make something for the conference, make something especially for them, and then you go from there. So that's just my little 2 cents. Let's see how far that goes as well.
The network paid $85 million for 5 years of the Pat McAfee show.
That alone shows you how relevant programming is to ESPN and where they felt they had to go to be different and to be innovative with going to get Pat McAfee. And we talked about it on the phone. They didn't even want to, they weren't even letting people come on Pat McAfee's show in the beginning. Now they've partnered with him 5 years, $85 million, or 4 years, $85 million. Why do you think the change had to occur, Perry?
I think when they looked at it, linear TV is in a decline and people were going to more social media, going more to YouTube, other areas where you can go directly to what it is that you wanted to hear. You can look at it as much as you want to look at it. Then initially, when you looked at Pat McAfee going out on his own, remember, Pat McAfee strayed away. And when he strayed away, like you said, ESPN banned employees from going on his show. They were almost at war with him. And it was almost a situation like, we're going to shut the door in your face. And then when somebody shuts the door in your face, that's basically them looking at you saying, if you fail, you fail.
Yeah.
Without me. Pat McAfee was special in this case because he did not fail. He kept going up. And his numbers was going up. And a lot of people who were looking for sports and wanted to get sports information were tuning away from linear TV to watch Sports Center and whatever the other shows where they gave you direct access to sports in interviews, and went to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee became not your average, not your typical sports show, right? He became what people like to watch when they're not looking at linear TV, where it's structured program and everything has to go by the executives and everything else. Pat McAfee gave you a whole wild new perspective on how sports could be broadcast. Him and his boys made it fun. It was quirky. It was wild. It was unorthodox. The way they attacked and went at people, then the way that they told the story, they were able to mush it and put it all together. ESPN had to realize that their value and that their viewership going into Sports Center and whatever other shows that people typically got that same type of information was on the decline, and Pat McAfee was going up. So they had to make a personal decision, a business decision, and take the personal away. Remember, we said they banned everybody from going on his show, and they did not like him. But ESPN knew what it was about. It's at the end of the day, regardless of personal, it was about business. And when it's about business, you throw the personal stuff out the window and then look at how can this be of value for us? Because clearly his numbers are up. He's bringing in viewerships. We need to then transfer over to us, and we're willing to make that investment so those numbers can ultimately come over to us and we can continue to see an uptick instead of going down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get back to the video. If you're just joining us, I'm going to tell you this. I cannot show the video because of copyright infringement. All right. So I had to make a cover, and you got to read the captions, but listen closely. All right.
Can ESPN compete against companies that have much bigger balance sheets than Disney?
The market capitalizations of Apple, Amazon, and Google are all dramatically larger than Disney's. But do these companies want to outbid ESPN for future live sports rights? So far, they're testing the waters.
Well, if Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, YouTube decide to spend massive amounts for rights, if they decide they want to go in and buy all those rights, that competitive advantage will not sustain. What's not clear is that is actually what the high-tech companies will do.
The challenge right now is linear TV is in accelerating secular decline. Everyone is looking for the exit door. No one's really sure how to do it. And it's not clear what the appetite from the tech companies is for sports rights.
Google's YouTube spends $2 billion each year for NFL Sunday Ticket. Amazon is paying $1 billion per year for Thursday Night Football.
Listen, I don't know how many times that I've said on this channel is that ESPN and Disney are not the only people in the market looking for live sports. And the fact that HBCUs have hitched their wagon to an entity that sees you as a distant cousin is a problem. I'm not saying that Apple and Google and Amazon are going to take you to the ball and you're their Cinderella. But goddamn, I mean, they gonna treat you at least like a side chick. You know, a side chick gonna get what she need to get to make sure everything good. You know what I'm saying? Bills gonna get paid and everything like that. But when Disney is treating you like Cinderella in the basement, right? And they won't let you out, and they're just telling you, hey, clean our drawers, wash our dishes. That's all you good for. At some point in time, you have to move along and test the market. And Apple, Google, Amazon, they don't make their money off live sports. They make their billions off of tech. So paying for live sports is like a game for them. They're like, hey, if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. What you got, P?
Well, you got to look at ESPN strategy, and the SWAC fell into it. ESPN strategy, and coming up into this, and the former CEO said it was to buy as many live rights as they could and lock them up for as long as possible.
Yeah.
They saw the horizon and was like, let's just grab everybody we can and put them in a deal, which is what's the ESPN deal with the SWAC. How long is that deal?
It was, I believe, 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, so what they want to do is lock you in to keep you from shopping with these potential partners, because these people, like you said before, they don't take it serious, but the numbers are steady going up when they're doing a Thursday night football game, when they're taking in these different nights and being able to then put them out there for the world to see, and it's streaming. Amazon looks at it like this. Let's say Prime, if I stream a game through our network, the numbers said that ordering from their website went up tremendously.
Yeah.
They used it hand in hand. We just generated people to the product that we're basically selling. This was just an added way to generate them to what we have to offer. What we would then have to do if we're a conference, school, SWAC, let's just go out there and test the water and see what it would look like with one of them, because they don't have an allegiance to so many like ESPN with Disney do. ESPN has to have an allegiance with the SEC and everybody else that they trying to corral, so you get overwhelmed, right? Like you said, get treated like Cinderella in the basement. There's so many other people before you in the front of the line, and not only that, they have the golden ticket while you have the regular ticket, so they get the perks. They get the attention to detail. They get seen first when they come into the emergency room, because you don't have insurance. You got to sit and wait. That's how we are treated in this situation. And that's why when you see, we don't get that added, what we talked about in that first segment. You don't get that added programming that gives you the in-depth that you get from the bigger schools and everybody that's ahead of you, the same way that they're doing with, of course, the NBA, the NFL, big-time college Power 5 football. Those are the billions. That's what generating the big dollars. Everybody else just falling in because there's some crumbs left, and you can have those crumbs if you like.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, and I've heard Mr. Campbell say this on a few shows, is just that combining with an Amazon, knowing they're going to try to sell to our consumer base anyway, is to me a no-brainer, right? So if putting HBCU games behind an Amazon paywall, which is going to drive people to become get Amazon Prime or add that into the package or whatever deal you want to make with Amazon, but in fact turns into more revenue money than you've ever seen from your conference. Because let's take HBCU Go out, because I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anybody tell me they got any money from that deal. I'm just being honest. I haven't heard anybody say we've been paid by HBCU Go.
And is that a linear TV deal?
That is okay. So for HBCU Go, let me try to break this down as best I can. It is a linear deal, but it has streaming involved. So how it works is all Byron Allen did was say, hey, you have all this inventory of sports. I want it, and I'll pay you for it. So it's like this. So if I went to your house and I walked into your pantry, I said, man, you got a lot of canned goods in here, Perry. You got beans, you got rice, you got all type of stuff, corn. Hey, I'll give you $10 million for everything in your pantry. And you said $10 million a year? Yeah, I'll give you $10 million for 5 years. For everything you get in your pantry, I get it. So the next time you fill up, I get it. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I turn around after you done sold it to me. I go to the street and I sell it for $10 a can. Right? Or $1 million a can or whatever. That is why, and he leases it to everybody. So you'll see it leased to HBCU Go. You'll see it leased to ABC and CBS and all those. That's what he turns around and does for his stuff. That's how he makes his money back. And that is how he's supposed to pay the SWAC, right? That's how it all works. So yes, it is a linear deal, but it's on the Byron Allen side of after he bought it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he's going to promise you is that you're on TV. However you're on TV is how you're on it. If it's go ahead.
And we've been having this whole notion of wanting our games on ESPN. Put the game on ESPN, ESPN2. From 2013 to 2023, 40 million households across the United States have canceled traditional cable. 40 million. ESPN gets 62% of its revenue from cable fees. That's what powers the machine of ESPN, because they pretty much been able to set whatever rate they wanted to. And now what they're finding out with people canceling cable, that you may have been paying for cable and never turned your TV to ESPN, but ESPN was just profiting off the fact that you was even purchasing cable. Now that you're seeing everybody unplug from cable and going to streaming services, ESPN is being affected heavily, and that's why you have this notion of now wanting to move into this streaming space. But now the streaming space is something that's new for them, because guess what? They're late to the party. Everybody else has already kind of been right ahead of them, because ESPN never thought the day would come, or I thought it was the arrogance of ESPN that the day that they would never see where there would be a decline, that people just seem to want to watch cable television. Is particularly people are watching cable television because of me.
Yeah. And
now they're go ahead.
And I think it falls back into the blockbuster mindset, right? When Netflix came out, people love coming into the store and buying their videos and paying late fees and coming back and having to drop it off. And then when Netflix comes around and you're like, hold up, I can be in my house, in my pants, in my drawers, order what I want to watch. It come through the mail. I can return it anytime I want, no late fees. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this other one, right? So, and that's where ESPN has fell into that market cap of, okay, we're not trying to be Blockbuster and never change. We're not trying to be Toys R Us and never change, right? And we die. But you've caught it on the back end, so now you're trying to jump into a space where you don't understand it, because everything you've done has been cable television. So you don't understand all the concepts of what it takes to be in this market cap. And once again, you see it by just the subscription model of everybody else being so far ahead of them. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot to this, but I think in the grand scheme of things, the only way ESPN Plus even works is that they bought up all those extra rights and just dump them on the streaming platform. Because what were they doing before? Before I mean, were they gonna put you on ESPNU? They can't put 30 games on ESPNU at one time, but I can play 50 games on ESPN Plus at one time. So it's just a benefit of them. But go ahead, P.
Well, I agree with you. Then I think at the same time, ESPN not only is competing against the streaming world, they're competing against social media, TikTok, Instagram. Then you factor in YouTube. I think YouTube alone, and what all of this is showing us is a world that you don't need, us, like they saying, studio programming in studio. You're finding a world that people can do it like what we're doing from our house. You're finding a world that you don't need a major network behind you. You can do it. We live in a you can do it yourself world. All you got to do is go viral for a moment. What is I ain't fresh? He got a whole LRG deal now. And that's still it's been a week, hasn't it?
Dang, man, why can't God, need stuff like that to happen to me?
Everybody like, man, can y'all borrow me into a deal?
I got Nautica, you know, so I got me a little Nautica on here.
And the simple thing is, fans want a place that they can go follow the team or the teams that they love 24/7. And I think people, if you have not realized where we're going with this, it's going to make so much sense, but you got to unpeel the layers. Unpeel the layers before we get straight to the core. I think what you got to realize is you have to then get yourself to start targeting a younger audience. You got to realize that the world is getting younger when you're talking about more people tuning in. Kids today got phones and iPads more than ever before that want to be entertained.
Jesus Christ, that's facts.
When you go and look at kids, they don't play no more. Everybody looking down like this.
Let me say,
they're watching Netflix. They're watching. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's real quick. If anybody doesn't understand, Disney is the umbrella. ESPN is owned by Disney and Hearst. 80% of Disney, 80% of ESPN is owned by Disney and Hearst, right? So when we're talking about ESPN, essentially we're talking about Disney, but Disney and ESPN has just shown their books individually. And Disney is debating whether or not to get off of ESPN and sell it separately. So when you hear us discussing ESPN, we understand it's under the ABC, Disney, we get all that, Hulu, we understand all that. But what we're trying to get you to understand is that Disney is looking at ESPN by itself, and ESPN is looking at itself in its own entity and saying, hey, what can we do to be better so Disney don't drop us from their books? Okay, so
Disney look like they down the line when we start talking about 5-10-year plans. They looking at that 5-10-year plan and looking at the overall value and say, you know what? Maybe somebody out there would just be so happy to say that they own ESPN that they'll be willing to spend a substantial amount of money and just get ESPN off our hands and then let them figure it out. Because right now does not seem that the market, that when you look at the trajectory where it's going, that it's headed in a good place. Right now, it may be enough to where it's stable, but that 5-10-year plan down the line does not look so stable for Disney as they circling all of their assets, and ESPN as an asset is sitting right there, is not making financial sense for them in the future.
Especially as TV contracts are getting more and more expensive, that money has to come in different ways. And TMB is absolutely right. ESPN is betting on ESPN Bet. That's where they're hoping that extra cash flow is coming in to offset some of the stuff that they're putting out, right? So if I can get you to come in and bet with me and give us your money, well, that's an extra cash flow that adds into everything. That's why the Barstool deal went dead, because ESPN and Penn Sports got together and they made it, ESPN Sportsbook and all that type of stuff. So ESPN, once again, is trying to jump on that bandwagon with the FanDuels and the DraftKings and all that, and how they've made their money. ESPN is trying to slide into that wave as well. And listen, and Perry's right. Listen, where we're taking this is to a much bigger faction, to where we see what the SWAC, MEAC, and HBCU community can look for, it can hope for if they do it right. But at the end of the day, if you want to take this way out, you got to shop it around, right? You have Amazon, you have Apple, you have Peacock. Listen, it doesn't hurt to just see what they're offering. You're getting paid $700,000 per year. That's $60K per school. Maybe 65 or 59, something like that. That's
between 50, we'll say between 50 and 70K.
50 and 70K for your sports. That's what ESPN is paying you. If you don't think that companies with a market cap that is 10 times the value of Disney can't offer you anything better, you're out of your cotton picking mind, especially when your conference and brand is walking on eyeballs. It is literally they have automatic eyeballs when you buy HBCU football. Automatic eyeballs. So gotta do better. Perry, let's take it. Before I want to go to the big three, because that's what's coming down the pipe, right? That is what's coming down the pipeline. That ESPN is having to partner with Disney. Well, they are Disney. Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers are partnering together to make sure that they all can stay within this race of arms for TV contracts. And I think it shows you that ESPN is losing its grip, because they would have never thought about this 10 years ago. They would have told your Bama's to get in where you fit in. But when you're losing grip, you need extra funds to make these purchases for these contracts, because if you partner together, it all benefits us to put our money together to buy these contracts. And now that you're seeing it come to fruition, and I heard this is going to be very, very, very expensive. What you got, P?
I just think now this is the idea of where you start to see why people have to pay attention to the deals that we're making as a conference. And when we make these deals as a conference, are we just making it because it's just like when I look at when we do these apparel deals, it'll say you got an Adidas deal, but you really through the third party company of Adidas doing a deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not? And then when you do that third party deal, you really don't even know what's going on. It's like you never get to meet the actual boss. He always sends his assistant to talk to you. I think in this same sense, we have to realize when we do our contracts and businesses, are we actually sitting down with the big time people? Or are we just talking to the so far down the pipeline? We just happy to even be in the door, and that's who they sent to talk to us. And then they tell us anything. We have to start to really understand what it is. What are the 5 and 10 year plans for these companies that we want to be a part of? What does growth look like for them, and what does our partnership look like with them? When you said this earlier in the show, it was perfect. The Cinderella in the basement. You have a lot of value, and you know you have value.
Yeah.
If you can create content in terms of programming around your football, with your band, with your Divine Nine, with your Pretty Wednesday, with your culture of what it is, what does that sound like, Scotty?
Sounds like a network to me.
Black entertainment television is what it sounds like to me. BET. Let's go back and realize what made BET what it was. Yes, it was music, but most importantly, BET had shows that showed you the culture. It gave you the behind the scenes. It painted the picture, and it didn't just allow music to do it. The culture had programming, and that programming ultimately sold it even more to you. It's the same concept like when you had A Different World. Didn't that one show have a remarkable effect across the United States, being in millions of homes that ultimately made people want to go to HBCUs?
Absolutely.
We have to then understand that it's more to our value than just to say stream a game. It's more to our value than just football, basketball. That there's more integral parts that actually create the overall value, but we try to push it all into one, and just hopefully you can get all of our culture out of one football game. It's just too much. It's the same way like what ESPN is doing with the live streaming deal. They grabbed all of this and just trying to push it through one thing. That's why we fall at the bottom, because they don't have no time to give you individual programming, and you at the bottom, but they got priority of everybody at the top.
Absolutely.
That's making them the billions of dollars. When it comes to the SWAC and the MEAC, when it comes to our culture, which is Black entertainment television, I don't know no other way to put it, there's a lot of layers to that can sell, that has value as well. And it's the Greek shows, it's the battle of the bands, it's just average everyday campus life, campus to community life, where different walks of people are from to come together. What famous people, what notable people are going off into the world coming from these HBCUs? What are our graduates doing? There's so many other stories that could be told that we just missing it, that we can bring together and actually make it Black entertainment television, because you're telling your stories, you're incorporating athletics, but at the same time, you're creating program, because we do have stories to tell, but yet we don't tell them.
I love it. I love it. And let's take it down. And you know me, guys. I'm a visual guy. I like to give you Bama's the visuals. Give you a little HBCU TV. Okay, now talking and collaborating with my consultant here, we came up with a few things that will be the pillar of HBCU TV. You have your bands, you got the marching, you got the 0 quarter, 5th quarter battle of the bands. You have student content, your probates, your Pretty Wednesdays, your short stories, right? There's guys and girls that are in there that are your future Spike Lees, right? They're your future director X's, right? This is what you're looking for, because what you looking for, I got what you looking anyway. So, if you have these creative people on tap already, why? Let me say this. There's a kid on an HBCU campus, right, that currently can do the exact same thing Country Wayne is doing with his little soaps. I don't want to say little because they make him a lot of money. With his soaps that he does on Facebook. He could do that in his own HBCU campus. There's guys or gals that can do that. In live sports, let me tell y'all this. How would you feel if every basketball game was behind one paywall? The subscription fee is not too much. You're already thinking broke. Okay? The subscription fee is not too much. You got to understand, you are supporting 12. You're supporting about what? 20 schools? You got 12?
Well, the thing about it, Scotty, when they looking at the subscription fee, they going right back to the thinking that I told them ESPN has put them in the mindset of. You're just thinking about one game.
Yeah.
You're just thinking about games being played. He's giving you programming now.
Yeah.
So now it's $29 to $49 for entire program of everything I just said. Black entertainment television, because that's what it is, labeled as HBCU TV. You keep thinking the way that ESPN wants you to think, game. That's why you're not getting any programming that comes along with the game and behind the scenes and showing of the culture. When you're watching the game, you want them to show the culture, and you don't get it. When you're watching ESPN, can they do it behind the scenes and tell us about our program, tell about our school? No, you're not going to get that unless it is a hype figure like a Deion Sanders. You don't get that privilege because you at the back of the line. That's priority for you. It's like getting on the airplane. There's priority, then is everybody else. It's first class, you're not first class. They're not going to treat you like first class.
Let me say this real quick, B. I got to answer these people, okay? First of all, you have to understand, you're talking about $1 billion company. Peacock is a part of NBC. NBC supplements. If you want to know, go look up how much money Peacock lost in last quarter. Peacock lost over, I believe, $200 million. HBCU TV cannot lose $200 million and keep going on, right? Unless you get investors and venture capitalists who are willing to throw money behind something that is all black, you're not going to see that. That's what I'm trying to get. People saying, oh, it costs too much. That is your problem off the rip. Okay, you have to understand there is a financial burden to put this on. It is servers, because you want this money to support the institutions, but at the same time, you have to support itself.
That's the problem. If it costs too much, you don't give a damn about supporting the institutions. I thought the whole thing was to raise money. If you knew you can help your institution and it's going to help us all, because what's that one Hillman we all talk about, support our HBCUs, and then here's a plan. And you getting less than $50 per person. Okay, so what? $50 per person. You spend $50 these days on anything at a snap of a finger.
I spend $30 a month for Flow Sports, and it just come out like, like it come out like nobody's business, right? But I wanted to make sure I put it between 29 to 49 because I did a little math, Pete. I did a little math. 20K. I said 20,000. 20,000. Y'all stadium fill up 20,000. That's one school in the SWAC. I said 20K at $29.99 a month. That is $500,000 a month. A month.
Considering what the minimum you getting for a whole year.
Come on. Come on.
What is we said between $50,000 and $70,000 per institution?
$700,000 for the year between 12 schools. You have now just made $500,000 a month. Now understand, there are going to be some what's it called? Some liabilities, some debits. Okay, you got to pay for the structure. You got to pay for the server. You got to pay to host. You got to pay for all this talent or whatever to come in. But if you can walk away, right? If you can walk away with about half, $300,000 a month or $200,000 a month, that's not bad.
It's no different than what y'all getting when y'all go playing these classic games and the promoters walking away with the money and you walking away with whatever you walking. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
It's the same idea. Like I said, you got to put it in perspective. You got to peel back because people will be so quick to say what you can't do and why you can't do it, but it's already being done in just different facets. When you're looking at this, what's the problem? What's the difference?
What's the difference? Right. So to me, once again, you already got people talking about it's too expensive.
If it's too expensive, that's when you go back to the HBCU community and you say, well, what don't we have? You have a mass comm program, don't you? Let's take the model, Scotty, the same model like SEC Network. Yes, SEC Network is going to have an umbrella that's over them that's funding into that. But guess what? Every institution has the guidelines of what the work is supposed to look like and how it's going to look like if it's going to be a part of the network. And they all work together using the students that they have on their campus that we call interns. That you make this part of the course curriculum for when you graduate. Stop saying what we don't have and that it costs too much and that we don't. You got it all on your campuses because a lot of these schools already got their own on-campus programming when you're talking about radio and television. You got plenty of students looking for opportunities to go out there and do on-camera work because they're around your campus doing short stories and trying to cover sports and do whatever else they can. But a lot of times the doors are closed or the opportunity just doesn't present itself because nobody create the opportunity on the campus for them. You have these people right here. And not only that, you said it costs too much. Are we institutions of higher learning? Don't we have grant writers? Can we go out and get grants for our mass comm departments? Can we go out there and find that federal money to put into our programs? If that's going to be, because just like any school, you have to keep up with what's going on in the world. That's why you don't see a lot of schools putting a lot into agriculture anymore, right? Like a lot of HBCUs, the agriculture and the mechanical part, right? That time, that industry has shifted. What you see now, you see folks going more into it. You have to shift with the times. And if social media and if streaming seems to be the times that we have today, we have to shift that and realize, okay, that's what our research and our time need to go into because there's a true value there for us. And not only that, that's a new realm of a career for people now because of social media and because of YouTube. So the notion you can't do, why we can't, you can, you got everything right there. Write grants, get federal funding, put it to the mass comm, start shifting new areas for your school to grow and stop just focusing on what you always been known for. Well, we always had the best nursing program, so we just gonna brag about the nursing program for the next 10 years, or when we gonna look at that other program that nobody has quite paid attention to, like mass comm, like public relations, like marketing, and realize that's an investment for us and we got it right here. How can we get grants and federal dollars to then fund what we need?
Yeah.
Then bring it to athletics and then use it as a school as a whole. I'll use this for an example for you, Scotty. Let's just take Southern, okay? I went and did Southern metrics in terms of on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then I looked at their YouTube channel. Southern's market on Instagram, right? And I looked at 4 different things. Southern's market on Instagram. Southern University Athletics has 20.6 thousand followers. The school's page by itself has 71.8 thousand followers. The Southern University Marching Band has 126,000 followers. And SU football, just the football page alone, has 12.1 thousand followers. Total, that's 229.5 thousand followers. That is an audience that you have from 4 different pages for one school, right? Shouldn't you then figure out how can we market that? How can we brand that to make the best value out of almost 300,000 followers? Then let's take it to Twitter. Southern University's regular Twitter page of the school, 33.2 thousand followers. SU Athletic, 32.8 thousand followers. Southern University Marching Band, 19.2 thousand followers. And Southern University football, the football page itself, 20,000 followers. Total, that's 105.2 thousand followers. Now, we ain't talking little numbers. We're talking 100,000, 200,000. Then let's take Facebook. Southern University Athletics on Facebook, 38,000. The school page itself, 69,000. Southern University Human Jukebox, 287,000 people follow that page. And then Southern University football is 3,000. You total that all together, just 4 pages for one school, that's 385,000. Now, for one school, if I take Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and look at our total social media presence, we're talking about nearly 1 million at 719.7 thousand followers. That's one school, 4 pages on 3 different social sites. Now start taking that value and do it with every school in the SWAC and give me a total number and let me show you how far in the millions that we are with the type of impressions and the value that we have, that there's a market out there that we are completely missing out on because we don't know how to truly tap into it. When ESPN is telling you we're failing linear because there's a market out there that consumers would like in terms of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and everything else, that they can go directly to follow pages and people that they like and willing to support it.
I think a lot of it, and Mr. N.O. Joe, I see you. I'm gonna get to you in a little bit. I got a caller. My thing is this, right? When somebody asks me about live sports, you're already broadcasting for ESPN. If anybody does not understand the ESPN Plus model, let me break it down to you. The school broadcasts the game. It sends the signal to ESPN Plus, and ESPN Plus puts it on its site. That is it, right? That's why the graphics be ass. That's why all that stuff be acting up, because ESPN does not have direct correlation to the graphics that are on the screen, right? Unless Tiffany and Jay Walker are calling the game. If they're calling the game, ESPN has a direct correlation with the graphics and the presentation of it, right? So you already are broadcasting your own games. You might as well put it behind your own paywall. And the reason it is so much, and you got to understand, is you're trying to support the schools in the paywall. You're trying to make it make sense for a Jackson State or a Southern to put their basketball game behind a one-fits-all paywall. Because I look at it like this. Who's going to go watch who's going to go watch an Alabama State basketball game? It might be 50 people, maybe 25. But if I put it in a big pot and I can push everybody into buying it, it makes more sense when it's a cooperative economics model. Joe, coming to you.
Yeah, we're going on, Scott and Perry. Y'all have a great idea. I don't think it should be that much. I'm thinking around about $15.99. And the first year, schools don't make no money. All the money is made is going to upgrading the equipment, because it's hard to watch some of these games. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking is that you can go $15.99. You know what I mean? Just say how many SWAC and MEAC schools?
You said what?
12 and what? How many MEAC schools it is? 4?
It is 8. I believe there's 8 MEAC schools. That's what she calls them the Elite 8.
Okay, so that's 20 schools, right?
Yep.
And I'm figuring the first year you combine all of them. The first year don't nobody make no money. You upgrade the crime equipment. You don't need to hire no help, because you got the students on campus that can do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need to hire no help. And I'm figuring the first year you make money, spend money on upgrading the equipment, the advertising, and next year, just imagine, you get 100,000 people at $15, you know what I mean, $15 a month. How much is that? 1.5 million, something like that?
Okay, how much would that be at $39 or $49 a month? Like listen, man.
It's gonna be,
listen. I'm not in the model of trying to appease everybody. That's not what this business model is, because that's how HBCUs have the problem with their ticket prices. Oh, we gonna make it so cheap that everybody can come, and nobody comes.
Okay, listen, Scotty. I'm asking this question here. You gotta think about the quality. That's why I say the first year. Then you up the prices as the year goes. Just imagine, when you go to Walmart and pay $100 for a T-shirt, just a regular T-shirt.
No.
Or would you buy your wife? Listen, this is what you buy your wife a bag, same bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, but you can go get a knockoff one for $50.
I would say this. Listen,
the quality. Difference is the quality.
I would say this. Don't be so literal to go to the highest number and just look at 50. Now we just want to see. It says 29 to 50. I mean, it can go from anywhere. We can negotiate that. We can get that. The idea isn't set on just saying it's $50 and then we just gonna go back and forth and say 50 is too much, and that's gonna be everybody's argument. Well, $50. It's a negotiation range. It's still, the fact is, in order for this to be profitable for schools, at what point are we gonna make that investment into the schools? Yes, you got to start somewhere, but look where we at now. People still paying whatever they doing now. You have to start somewhere, and that money is going to go back into the school. Wouldn't you put $50 up if you knew that money investment went directly back into the school instead of you're paying $10.99 to ESPN Plus? How much of that $10.99 that you're paying is going directly back into that particular school that you're actually going, and you're subscribed to look at all these other games, and guess what? You don't give a damn about them 100 other plus games they got on ESPN Plus. You went to ESPN Plus just to watch your specific school.
Only reason I got ESPN, I canceled after football season. I canceled and I started back up on football season. So
that's my point. So now you have a program you don't have to cancel. You got everything you're looking for on one program. So wouldn't you be willing to put up the money and know that money is going to go directly back into that school's pocket instead of being a third party that then chips you away because you at the bottom? You're going to get the crumbs. You're paying to help other schools and other entities that are on ESPN Plus, and you don't even give a damn about them. That's my point. When you can pay for something and you give a damn about everything that is entailed because it is a direct HBCU television network.
I just feel like it, you can get more subscribers, if you lower the price and raise the price up year by year.
Hey, appreciate the call, Joe.
Every 5 years. All right.
Listen, this is my thing, man. Y'all gotta get off the money. It is mind-boggling to me, right? Because at the end of the day, I could listen. First of all, and that's why I did 29 through 49.99. My thing is this, right? At the end of the day, you could do like this: $29.99 gets you all the band stuff, but you don't get live sports, right? $39.99 can get you band, student content, but you don't get live sports. $49.99, you get bands, you get student, and you get the live sports. Because at some point in time, we gotta stop acting like we don't pay for what we don't want. This is crazy to me. I like hearing you guys text, chat, call in about, oh, I think it's too expensive. When you spend, I bet you money you spend over $50 at Chick-fil-A in a month, or whatever you decide to do.
What
Right?
that Amazon Prime account looking like?
What them Amazon Prime accounts looking like? Stop playing with me. I'm not going. Listen, what you will not do if this hoe said $99 a month, it should be worth paying to support your HBCU institution.
And you should be excited about that.
Come on.
And this is one of the issues with the community. We always, the first thing we do is try to knock it without even saying, you know what, maybe so. The first thing we got to complain and figure out everything on why we can't, when this is a direct way to be able to benefit the very school that y'all say, we ain't got no money to do that, Scotty. We can't even do that. How what we gonna do? We low resources too. Guess what? You keep waiting on them white folks to give you a handout. At some point, you got to go look in the mirror and figure out how can you create it yourself. It take investments. It take money to make money. If you don't want to spend no money, that's why you never gonna make money and keep waiting on a handout and hoping on a good deal or some side deal for somebody to give you whatever they can, and then you just accept it and say, well, at least we got something, and something better than nothing. At what point? Because we live in a world today that you can do it yourself. Scotty and I 20 years ago, in order to do this show with y'all, would have needed to be in a studio.
Absolutely.
With a production crew, with a director, with all of this equipment in order to be able to do this show. It don't take that no more. It just takes for brilliant minds, which I thought that's the hotbed of HBCUs, right? I thought so. Don't we have alums? Can we? You talking about it starts once again. You saying we got to start somewhere. We got grant writers at our schools. Don't we got people who can go out and find federal money?
Hey, let me, Mr. DeGratia, come on, you got to be smart at this, my guy. You can have a student discount. Like, what are we doing? Like, stop! Don't play with me. Like y'all gotta be smarter than this, man. How our teams? You can have a student discount for HBCU kids and students, just like they have student discounts with Microsoft and software and all. Like, what are we doing? Stop! Like
y'all
young
adults paying and watching Netflix and everything else today.
They sharing passwords.
Okay, then. Why does that have to be so hard looking at this compared to the shit you're doing every day anyway?
Come on, man. Stop. Y'all got to be more careful than that, man. It's ridiculous.
And you talking about student discounts? What if that's part of your tuition? That extra $50 per student goes directly to access for you to have this access. Is that? Come on, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to stop complicating, acting like it's just so hard. Half y'all paid student fees when you was in college, didn't know where half them goddamn student fees went to. You was paying for fees and didn't even know, and wouldn't even question why.
Yeah.
Right? Just long as it cleared and I can go to class. You take $50 for the students and say, hey, this automatically puts you got access to all this. They're watching on social media anyway. Then as they start to watch it, guess what? They want to be a part of it. Everybody got it. You're going to have social media brand ambassadors and influencers on your campus. That's when it worked hand in hand to make them a part of what this is.
Absolutely.
It's their direct investment along with your investment to ultimately help make this success. Because who else is going to do it if we don't do it ourselves?
And then at the same time, now your school campuses, your school environments are becoming more attractive. Why? Because I only have an opportunity to do this at an HBCU TV. Right? I have an opportunity to tell a story or be a director. You can literally turn HBCU TV into its own Tubi for college students and for Black entertainment and Black television or whatever. So you give first right or refusal for kids who come up with a great idea or who come in with a great mindset or have their own movie or whatever, and they shoot it on their own. You put it on the TV platform. You pay for the rights. Now you got a catalog. So now you can say, we found the first Spike Lee or the next Spike Lee, right? His first video was on our campus and is on HBCU TV. So you're using what you already have on campus. You're using the workforce that you have on campus. And now you're promoting your schools to say, look, you can do this here at an HBCU.
And don't get this nothing twisted. This is an idea, people. This is an overall thought. This is to provoke, to get people, because you hope that people that get paid when they sit down in their meetings, that they at the board and having PowerPoints and presentations, having these type of discussions. You hope that's what the people that are getting paid are doing. But if they're not, this is what we're doing to you, putting it in front of you to provoke thought. I thought that's what it was all about when you go to college and when you graduate college. You can be a critical thinker. You can look around the world and see what we do. We just wait on the world to change and then we just evolve with it. What hurts our community, we don't look 5-10 years down the world what everybody else doing to see the world going to be changed and be prepared for it. We wait till when the world changes right in the moment and then try to keep up with it. People are already planning for 5-10 years down the line. Where are we at? Are we looking for 5-10 years down the line? We're just looking for today and tomorrow. So until we prepare ourselves to have an understanding of what we can be in 5-10 years on our own in this content-driven world, and a world in which we can create and do it ourselves, and stop sitting back saying what we can't do and start saying what we can do. That has hampered us for too long as a community and as HBCUs, a study saying what we cannot do, or it costs too much, or there's a million reasons on why not. Talk to me about every reason on why we can. Start giving me tidbits on what we can do to grow this.
Yeah.
Because just like I said, one school in Southern with 4 pages over 3 social media sites, 719,000 subscribers, has followers. That's one school. You don't think if I use all of those for 719,000, why can I promote this just at one school? Now let's just say, fam, you got 1 million plus across 4. That's 1.7. Now let's say Grambling. Now we starting to talk about we can create our own entities to market and promote and don't have to worry about mainstream television, linear TV. We already got the following in the backing. Half the time, there's more people knows just the numbers of the people that have followed or subscribed or whatever. Think about the people that just gradually check out your page that won't hit the subscribe button, that won't hit the follow button. So what we saying we can't do, we got it all in front of us. The problem is we can't get outside the box of what they programmed us to think and how to be. And now when it's an idea, the first thing, is because it make you uncomfortable, doesn't it? It puts you in a position that now you actually got to do something, right? Because we haven't been used to having to do it. We've been waiting on somebody else to do it. And just because we are now partnered with them, we feel special and excited, but they don't feel special and excited about signing that deal with the SWAC. We feel special and excited because it's their name, ESPN, but ESPN is showing you through programming that you're not that important to me.
You're not that important. And that's what I keep saying. And we come on here. Let me take this caller because they've been waiting for 2833 coming to you. Hey, caller.
Hey, Scott. This is Ty from PV.
What's up?
Hey, so speaking from like a student's perspective, I think this is like an absolutely phenomenal idea. I think it's something for me, being a former athlete, playing a sport that's not necessarily like known like within the HBCU community, playing like tennis, something like that. I think this is something that could be used to be able to like really like showcase like all the sports platforms, not just necessarily football or basketball, things like that. And I think like, you know, it's so difficult nowadays to even look at different football games or even basketball games, things of that nature because of different PayPal, something like that. But having something like this to have everything on one platform, I mean, shoot, like as a student, shoot, I'll pay for it. I mean, shoot, like, and I like the idea of having the student get discount as well. And I think it'll just paint the whole picture of what HBCU culture is really all about. What Perry was talking about, you know, with the bands, the march-ins, the fifth quarters. Those are some of like the fundamental, like sentimental moments in HBCUs that, you know, just kind of get overlooked when it's on ESPN or something like that. So having our own platform, I think would be absolutely amazing.
Man, and I look at it like this. Look at all the people that's banned media and all the views that they're getting. Clearly, there's an audience out there when somebody puts up a halftime, a zero quarter, and a fifth quarter, and the band media are making the money, and guess what? Your school ain't getting nothing out of it. Now, it ain't no knock on the band media to just kick them out the way, but hell, you ain't kicking the check back to the school. And the school is just giving its value away. Here, you can have it. In the grand scheme, you see the views that they getting. You watching people doing reaction videos off these bands. You watching so many people taking your value and creating value for themselves while you have it right there on your campus and don't even give a damn about it. You just getting exploited every which way that you can and don't even know how to keep the funds and channel it. You got something like this, you control your own traffic. You send all that to right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I always say like, Scotty, you know my boy Kool-Aid, man. Think about him having a platform to even showcase like what these talented students here at these different HBCUs can be able to do on a platform like this. I know y'all talked about in the past about like having different like media programs and things like that nature, right? To like really show like what we can really showcase on that type of level, and knowing that we can actually, you know, get into like these different high entities and stuff like that. And I think like this will like help with that, like just giving students the opportunity to be on a major platform, seeing a whole bunch of alumni, seeing that what they're pouring into the school, that, you know, we're talented, not just in sports or in academics, but like there's people out here that are really, really talented out here. And I think it's just overall just a great idea. And hopefully within the near future, like something like this will actually go through for real.
Hey man, appreciate the call, bro. And I think, listen, you gotta keep it. You gotta keep thinking bigger. What you're doing is cultivating your own talent. That is what you're doing. You are building a pipeline to cultivate your own talent. When you can have guys like Kool-Aid and the guy from JSU media team, and then people like my boy Diddy from Josh from FAMU, if you can put them in positions of power, right, to where now they are coordinating, they're teaching, they're making a system of processes to where now they're teaching the younger people how to be these content creators, how to cultivate, how to make it, how to edit, doing all these things. You're now building your own pipeline. It's the same thing if you put all your games behind your own paywall. You're cultivating your own announcers in the style in which they call the game. Now these kids have portfolios. These kids can go out and market themselves. They have proof the concept that I can do what you think I can do. I've done it at a high level. It's all that in a bag of chips. And at the end of the day, if you're telling me that HBCUs are insulated environment of family, how are you growing that family, right? Because what we say and what people say about white people is that, oh, white people know credit, white people know about money. Well, now what you're doing on the HBCU campuses is, yeah, we're teaching you, if you want to be in the entertainment industry, we're going to give you your first foot. We're going to let you make your mistakes at the HBCU level, so when you go to the professional level, you've been there, done that. I've seen that. I've done that. I've worked on that. I've made my own short story. I've done a full feature film. I've edited it. I've done it at every level. That's what you're trying to cultivate and hopefully keep giving back to the next generation. Because when that senior who's done 3 short stories in his time in 1 feature film, Now he can go back and help the freshman who is now incoming, who said, man, I saw your film and I was like, oh, this is dope. It's that. All right, let me take this caller real quick, P, and I'll go back to you. Mr. DeGratier, it's on you.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hey, this is a great topic. You know, I've been preaching this stuff for years, and I really appreciate to hear it. And I just want to get online and say, hey, I agree with everything you all are saying. So I'm saying stuff in the chat, but everything you are saying are things I have said in the past, and I 100% support all of that. We're talking about the price. That's semantics. All that stuff will work itself out. It's capitalism. The price will be fine. It will figure itself out. And all the things that you're mentioning about, you know, growing the market, looking at what our schools have to offer. Perry, I really liked it when you went in and started talking about the schools. You're like, we got all these programs on campuses to do these things. They have this equipment. So some of the things that I have mentioned in the past, when an ESPN comes in on campus for a SWAC championship, they, you know, are required to pick up 10 students to teach them what they're doing and show them how to do some of the things. There are a lot of great YouTubers out there. You got Showtime, you got Killer Cav, you got all these individuals who are putting out great content in this space. And what you can do, you can use this, I'm not saying we do this now, but we can look at how successful they are. We can see what type of money that they're making on these channels. And we can kind of get an idea how this works. So it's not completely new. There are people out there doing it. OFFSCRIPT is out there doing it. Perry is out there doing it, right? You all are making these models and showing us all how to do it. And I 100% advocate that you all are branding, marketing consultants. I want the SWAC, FAMU, all the HBCUs to hire you all because you all have the great message. But my point is like, yes, 100% everything you all are saying. And I just don't want us to get bogged down with the semantics of the prices. It will work itself out. It'll figure itself out. But you all are doing a great job. Keep it up. Everyone hit the like button and subscribe and pay these cats some money later.
Absolutely. And I agree with Mr. DeGratier. Listen, I'm not an economicist, whatever, economist or whatever, mathematician. Listen, you get an accountant, you make it all work, you'll come up with the budget. It could literally be, like I said, a subscription package of, you can pick at $19.99, you can pick one of these. At $29.99, you can pick whatever two you want, and then at $39.99, you automatically get all three, or give you a discount at $34, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So it's something like that. So, but continue on, P.
And it's like what I would consider what you would do every year, right? Because it ain't like everybody just gonna go out and be renegade and do what you want on your own. We're gonna have there should be a yearly conference, right? Where you get the people who are over these departments and we come together. But before you do anything, you're going to always, like anything, you're going to have guidelines, policies, because what we want it to look the same across the board. It's like a band. When one person mess up, the whole band stand out, right? Yeah. Everybody could have did everything right, but that one person stood out on that formation. When everybody get to practice and everybody do it right, you don't have any mess ups. It all looks the same across the board. The same way with this. You got to have a guideline and have policies on this is the look we want across the board to make sure we all follow this. When we all follow it, that means we can't do nothing but grow from there. Figure it out together. That conference brings people together. Plus, then it gives you an opportunity to interact with the other students and the other people from these departments and whatever else you're using from these other schools. They go to conferences all over the country anyway. So why not do a conference and then have an overall, all right, this year, this is where we're going, okay? This year, these are going to be our highlights. This year, you already know what games are going to be played. You already got an idea. Like last year, Jackson State band, everybody couldn't stop talking about it. This year, then our highlight need to be focused on Jackson State's band, correct?
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot more because we're going to ride that high from off of last year.
Yeah.
Fam, you got a lot going on. We need to get an inside look on the program and how it's changed with Willie Simmons gone. Grambling got a story to tell. I'm just talking football. Yeah. Grambling got a story to tell. Southern got a story to tell. Freeman, you got so much that if you bring it, and people want to hear these stories.
Yeah.
I want to know what it's like with Jason Rollins and Eric Dooley together up there. I want to know what it's like with Fred McNair at Southern University. Yeah. I want to know what's going on at FAMU now that Willie Simmons is gone and what are things looking like around there. I want to know what Alabama A&M, does it feel like Connell Manor on the hot seat?
You know what? This is crazy. I thought about this when we talked about it earlier. Like, you know, that crab process of, you know, how the bands and the crab process and how that stuff works. Or you can have your own dance line reality show, right? Making the Team or whatever. You can call it whatever. Make, you know, how to be trying to be a golden girl or trying to be a southern, what's it, pretty dolls, doll girls, doll babies, whatever they call themselves. Dancing doll. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that people want to see, right? Like the new crop of girls trying to make the team, like, you know, in that process and that reality show, you know what I'm saying? Or how
they love dancing. The dancing Lifetime and all them others just completely took that up. The dance, and listen, that'll show you on the band videos that it ain't even about the band no more. They on there critiquing the girls.
Yeah.
They don't even watch the bands. And if you start watching I like band videos. Guess where the camera is?
On the girls.
On the girls. There's a value in those girls. That's why everybody at the game trying to record it and put it on their YouTube channel. They know there's a value that everybody's going to critique because everybody got something to say about this line and that line. That's the value that we don't even see that's in our face. On top of, now you have athletes. How many athletes come through this league that are great players and we never know nothing about them except the game when they're playing? We don't know what they look like. We never really truly heard them talk because at SWAC Media Day, you only get 2 players for football and then the rest of the media. What about basketball? What about women's basketball? How often do Jackson State for 5 years has been phenomenal? Do we got an in-depth of the program? Do we know those players for real?
Oh, nah.
But we say we got value. We love it.
I haven't heard Ariana Grizzle from FAMU speak 2 words. You know what I'm saying? So she was one of the top players in the SWAC, and that's the part of this thing
that's programming.
That's programming. That is what these schools are missing on a day-to-day basis. Let me take this caller. 0187 coming to you.
What's up, Scott? How y'all doing?
What's up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This Terry from Baton Rouge, man. How you been, Perry?
What's up?
Doing good.
Man, look, man, excellent conversation, man. I was thinking about, you know, the NFL Network used to do every summer the training camp with NFL teams. I was thinking, couldn't they do that like with each college with us when they get ready to go into spring practice and stuff like that? You could do stuff like that, man. Basketball team, when the basketball teams get ready to start playing, they do personal interviews, sit down, get to know the players and stuff like that, and get to know about their families, where they're from, their background, what they're majoring in. I think that's just scratching the surface, man. Y'all got a good conversation going. But my thing is, I hope somebody that's sitting up at the top that has some brains is paying attention. Because, man, this thing could be great. And I'm talking about y'all are actually holding an excellent conversation about this, and somebody somewhere need to sit down and be taking notes, putting pen to paper or whatever they need to do, however they do it, to try to follow up on what y'all talking about, man, because I think this could be a great thing. But I just kind of wanted to throw that out there to kind of, you know, make it look like, you know, there's so much other stuff that can be done, man, especially with the football teams and then go into baseball. All these things, man, you do these training camps and talk to them. But I just wanted to listen to that, man, a little bit more, and I just want to kind of add that in a little bit. Man, y'all have a good one, huh?
You too, Terry. Hey, I love that concept.
People have exploited us before. College Hill. What was the Grambling had it? I think it was Season of the Tiger one time when they came in and followed Bruce Eugene. They followed the football player, him and his interaction with his family. They followed a band member. I mean, let's just look at what Deion Sanders did at Jackson State with the Barstool things alone. Following them around and getting them in depth. Wasn't that alone worth people watching?
Yeah. I think, okay, and the Rim Ram, you got, if you haven't watched Roland Martin talk about how black media doesn't get the same ad buys as white media, try again. Come back to me and try again. Let me say this. The Hard Knock thing is absolutely amazing. And this is the reason why. But the problem, no, I'm gonna tell you why it's dope, is because at the end of the day, I don't care what y'all talking about. Everybody cares about football, basketball, and the rest come, but we would still do everything, but understand where all your odds and views are. HBCU people care about football. At the end of the day is this: you gotta have people who believe in getting getting out information. HBCU coaches and programs act like they're damn Fort Knox. It's so annoying. It is absolutely annoying. Okay? That at the end of the day, they won't tell you what is going on. They won't tell you who the 4 quarterbacks are starting at the position. They won't tell you that there's 3 running backs in their names or whatever. They won't.
And Scotty, I think one of the reasons why we're so keen to football is the lack of attention to detail to our other sports. The football is what we talk about when we talk about the ESPN deal, because that's what we're willing to give ESPN, and that's what everybody talks about. The band also incorporates it there because everybody's recording the band. When basketball season and baseball season come around, I think more people would be more interested if they had information on it instead of just seeing a post that we won or that we lost via Instagram or social media. If you don't tell and show people, because none of those other sports are getting that insider or in-depth or that same coverage like football is getting. That is one of the huge, I think, problems with us as a whole when we're trying to sell our athletics. We could be doing a lot more. I'm not saying just everybody's going to be flocking to women's softball, but hell, name me 3 players on your women's softball team at your school. What about your volleyball team? They're student athletes as well. They have stories to tell. Somebody from that volleyball team can fool around and go be the next vice president of the United States. We don't know what scholarships they're on. We don't know what internships they're getting, what programs. That's the thing. It's beyond the sports. It's the story of the Black culture. It's the story of the HBCU. That's the mindset that we got to look into, because that's our value.
Absolutely.
Everybody else looks at our culture and sees value but us. And they'll dig deep and find it.
Absolutely.
It ain't just on the outside looking at they hitting the ball. Who is that person? That person could be 5 generations of whatever that school lineage is.
Yeah.
Plus, then it gives us an opportunity to tell our past.
Listen, man, it's the basic stuff. If we're being honest, like it's the day in the life of a softball athlete, right? Like you see that on TikTok all the time. Day in the life of this, day in the life of a student athlete, day in the life of a student athlete at Alabama State, day in the life of a student athlete at Alabama A&M, day in the, like there's so many different ways that you can touch this thing in so many different aspects. And the thing what's so great about it is that if you're using the students who are already using social media, they're already going to chop it up and put it out to the masses.
Like what you said about Country Wayne. Country Wayne said, look, I'll put it out on my platform, but I'll pay you. You got your own cameraman. You got your plot. You go film that. That way we ain't got to do all this filming together. Every individual with their storyline is responsible for filming their storyline, and you just submit it to me.
Yeah.
When you submit it to me, it look like all these storylines are put together but they're all individually done.
Yeah.
That's the same thing we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
You got your storyline. Hey, go create this. You got your storyline. When you done, guess what? All those videos look the same, right? Can't
Tell me how good a college soap would be if like you got people walking in your dorm room. You got people talking about, how we gonna make it to the calf on time. Like there's so many good stories on a college baseline, right? Like, man, hey man, like you was talking about when people jumped in your car and y'all ran out of gas. Like those are great stories and short stories that people can tell and make their own soaps at these institutions.
Homecoming. It's a whole week of shit. Homecoming to give you all you want. Classics. It's a whole week of things that's going to give you what you want. Your history. There's a lot of history that's going to give you more than what you want that we don't archive. We don't sit down. We're so oral about telling our history instead of archiving and reserving and preserving our history and then putting it on something like this. And then you get to learn about other HBCUs.
Yeah.
You may have heard about FAMU winning that national championship in the 70s, but don't know about it. Hell, just like I got on here, a lot of folks didn't even know who Randy Himes was. And we talking the early 2000s. This was a Grambling great. Then let's just talk about the student aspect. Everything even got to be about the student athletes or the band. Let's just tell the story of the students and the influences and the people that's on campus. It's the reason why they jumping on TikTok. It's the reason why they are on Instagram. It's the reason why all of that now has grown up bigger than ever before. And they got people stuck in their phone 24/7 looking and scrolling all day long.
Yeah.
Why not be a part of that and let them be a part of it and feel special? You have student athletes, guess what? You know why people are listening to all these podcasts with former athletes? You rather hear from the athlete than a damn random guy that ain't never touched the basketball in his life. That's what people want to hear from experience. Plus, at the same time, you're building these people. Guess what? You got a lot of students that with this teaches them oral communication in terms of how to get up, voice and diction, and speak.
Yeah.
A lot of them first time getting to when they go into a media day and don't seem too prepared.
Absolutely.
That's why you get the fluff questions. So why the striped socks? Why hot sauce or ketchup? That's why you get that. This is a training, and then I'm just gonna go back to it. We are college campuses. We have resources. We have to move and look at the future. You can't only look at what's now and harp about the programs that are just, if your engineering program is off the chain, good luck, congratulations. If your nursing program off the chain, good luck, congratulations. Keep that up. But look at the other programs and then look at the world around you and see what everybody else is doing to make a move. Because ESPN and everybody else is showing you we about to make a move into this digital media space.
Absolutely.
That's the future. The same way I always talk about a 5-10 year plan. If I look at what programs you got to say, well, then how can we be a part of that?
Yeah.
How can we prepare ourselves to be on the forefront? So when they make that change, we're going to pump our students straight to them.
Yeah.
We're going to be the asset because we saw them make the pivot. We made the pivot with them. So we'll be on the forefront to where our students, if they need jobs, we can pump them straight to them because we saw the change and the pivot in that particular area. And that's where we're going. And we got to be able to do that. We can write grants. We can get federal money. We can use all these programs on campus. Let's just stop saying what we don't have and why we can't do it and that it's too much and start using what we do have. That's what have made Black folks great. And that's what has continued to pull our culture together. When what they fed us the slops as slaves.
Yeah.
We made something out of it, didn't we? To the point folks still eating chitlins today like it's a delicacy. That was something slop. That was the leftovers. We done that. We've always made the best out of nothing. We never been too hot. I guess we too good now. Some of us just forgot where we come from. But these are supposed to be the very institutions that we go to bat for each and every day to say, I love my HBCU.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The HBCUs are on the backside. We don't have the platforms to where kids across the nation used to know HBCUs just like that. Kids today don't know Southern and Grambling by itself in Louisiana. They know Northwestern, McNeese, Nichols, Southeastern. They got options. You know why they got options? Those other schools saw what was going on and made themselves available to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
While we just thought once again, it could be the arrogance that they know me. Don't act like you don't know me. You know me. I think that's the same arrogance that ESPN suffered from. That now ESPN is trying to play catch up and make a pivot and make a change. But at least they trying. At least they put money there. What we doing? We got to keep up with it. You can go to LA and kids don't know about no damn HBCU, but in our mind, we think they do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a crime. They don't know. They don't know. They got too much other stuff coming down their feed, showing them the breast of anything else in the world compared to you. Because guess what? You're not utilizing the value that you have on the platforms that you do.
Absolutely.
You're doing the bare minimum. You're not marketing and promoting yourself. You're not telling your story. You're not creating nothing. You're just doing the bare minimum to post. And that's cool. But look at what that is. That is a value. That's why that's the whole reason of this NIL for these student athletes. It's the social media presence. It's how many followers they got.
Yeah.
It's marketing and branding. Now, if you got damn near 1 million or over 1 million in your total portfolio of social media network, you should be finding the value in that and working out a deal with a company. And the conference as a whole should be looking at all of this. The conference need to have a lineup of everybody's social media and YouTube and figure out where our strengths at. And together, what does our social media presence look like? If it's 10 plus million, then damn, what does that sound like if I take that to a company and say, hey, is that why you giving so-and-so an NIL deal because they got $1.4 million because of their social media presence because you want branding and marketing for them to wear a shirt, LRG, like they just did with my guy?
Yeah.
He gained all those followers, and then they saw that. We have a brand. We have a culture that backs us. We have to then be able to see that value and stop giving away. Band and dances within itself is a whole culture. Then you got sports. Then you got campus life. Then you just got the story to tell of our amazing alums everywhere that they go. Because you don't know where those alums have went to tell their stories. Like you got Howard with Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States. That is a story. Or you got somebody that's simply the president or the vice president or the regional manager of somewhere. That is a story.
Nah, I listen.
You want me to keep going?
No, listen, bro. You preaching. At the end of the day, my thing is this. There could, my vision that comes to me is, you know, that new Bel Air that they made, the revamp of, like, kids can make that in college, a college version of Bel Air, right? Like a college version of the new version of A Different World, right? Like of just understanding and kind of playing on the times at hand and making it your own. You get what I'm saying? And that to me is where content is king. And the lady said it in the ESPN documentary or the CNBC documentary. She said, storytelling is ESPN's bread and butter. She said, yes, we're going to have live sports, but the storytelling is what captivates people in ways that you can never imagine. So how you're telling this story, how you cultivate this story, and how you disseminate the story are all part of the storytelling process. And
it matters. It's
does.
going to help with recruiting. Don't you want your student enrollment to go up?
Yeah.
It all work hand in hand. I know everybody not an HBCU fan, but guess what? You may gain one. That's what Jackson State did to the world because guess what? They were out more. Dion did everything he could to pub and show you Jackson State and HBCUs. It brought in a new fan that ultimately there's a whole audience. Our thing is, look, we're companies, right? That's what a college is. Your job is to go out there and find the new customer, because now the market is saturated with other businesses like yours. But they're marketing different. They're targeting different. They're offering different experiences, doing different things. How do you go out and then gravitate that new customer to you? Because we just basing off of folks to know about HBCUs to come to HBCUs. The problem we have in the people that know about HBCUs and went to HBCUs, not even sending their kids to HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to constantly be looking for the new customer. We got to constantly put ourselves out there more instead of just keep catering to the people that we already know about. It ain't about the people that know about you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You move on. Once they ain't going nowhere. They lifers. I love the swag. I'm here. Go find a person who didn't know about the swag. What the swag? What is that?
And bring them on over.
You give them, you show them insight. You give them a little bit. Now that they see it, they look around like, damn, this is really cool.
Yeah.
That's how my experience.
Been here the whole time?
Whole time. Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, New York, DC, Kansas City. Black folks, look, we're doing a whole HBCU thing in Phoenix. And they don't know. Come on, man. How many people think in Phoenix truly know about HBCUs?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to do that. We got to create that. And it ain't as hard as people think, because clearly everybody already out there doing it. You just got to bring it together. And what you got to do is start it from the conference to the schools and get every AD and every school president and the commissioner and his entire body and office should be watching what we're saying and come together and should have a conference, a call, and whatever else and figure out, all right, this is a new way. This is a value. This is something that we can use. In 5-10 years down the line, maybe we can be prepared to do this because we got a plan. You just can't jump into it. Yeah. You got to start properly planning now. So when that deal is getting ready to be up with HBCU Go TV and getting ready to be over with ESPN, we're going to make our move to launch our own thing. We thank y'all for what you do. And in the process, let's send these people to HBCU Go TV and ESPN to get the knowledge and understanding from production standpoint.
Yep.
We got to deal with them, don't we?
Yep.
So why not? When they come to our campus and whatever that game is, and Tiffany Green and Jay Walker here, let's get some people who do broadcasting and shadow Tiffany Neal. Hell, you on my campus? Let's get some people in that production truck and learn what's going on. Shadow those cameramen around and behind the scenes. That's where you start to build. You might as well learn that now that we in the deal with them.
Absolutely.
Guess what? We got the plan for 5-10 years down the line.
We gonna break away.
When we break away, we prepared and we ready.
Yeah.
We got the concept. For the past 5 years, we've been able to build a portfolio and a profile of what we want to look like. Now, when we do that overall conference, and what we've been doing each year is putting this to everybody build up. Hey, they got grants over there in Mississippi for you. See if you can apply for those grants and get. That's how we got to look. Hey, they got that federal dollars down in Florida. See if you can get that. We got to work together. That's the network.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, it's been a good conversation. Anything you want to say, people, before we get up out of here?
I think this is capable. I think we can do it. I think powers that be have to look at the idea that the world is shifting. That piece here that was done on ESPN is showing you the world is shifting. It ain't just Perry and Scotty saying the world is shifting. They letting you know that a billion-dollar company is watching the world shift, and they tried to stay stubborn as long as they could to do it their way and realize they can't do it that way no more.
Can't do it that way.
And even with the swag, I would say this, even when it comes to you, Scotty, I look at it the same way when I heard them talking about ESPN and Pat McAfee. ESPN did not like Pat McAfee. At one time, ESPN banned any employee from going to speak on Pat McAfee's show. But what ESPN realized when they looked around them, man, we got to be able to bring in a new audience, and they're liking the way that he's going about bringing in and telling sports. The same way with you. There are plenty of people, yes, who've been in this space and done it. Do they get the views like you? They don't, because people like the entertainment, because at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
Entertainment. Gotta entertain.
It's all entertainment. At the end of the day, people like the way that you bring it to them. And because you bring it to them that way, that's why they gravitate to it. So then, regardless of the fact, the swag could put his pride aside and everybody can sit down, and we're all men and women. Because I know they got people as women in the,
yeah.
We can sit down like adults. This is entertainment. Sitting down at the table is business. And sit down and then talk business and say, well, how can we then take and structure this? Because clearly, there are plenty of platforms we know that's out there. And I look at it even in the sense of somebody say, yeah, don't go work with Scotty, right?
Yeah.
But I'm up and coming. I could be doing something. Yeah. The word don't go work with Scotty. Why? Why? Well, you want me to go work with somebody else and they're not pulling in nearly the views that you're pulling in? Why not go work with you? It's a business decision. It ain't personal.
Yeah.
ESPN put that aside, looked at Pat McAfee, offered him $85 million, a 5-year deal, and their numbers went up. You know why? There was a drama that built up to it. The whole ESPN and Pat McAfee feud.
Yep.
People want to see then what that looked like once they was together. Pat was still able to be himself, and it worked out for ESPN. The same thing I see can happen right here with you, the SWAC, and us maybe working together. But at the same time, with this overall network, the idea is each one of these ADs, each one of these school presidents and chancellors, take the time to go sit down and just look at the resources that you do have on your campus and say, how can we utilize that? And then talk to your marketing and branding departments and look at what is our value? When the last time have they even checked to say, what is our value when we look at our social media presence? What are we leaving out there? It's like when you eat chicken. Don't you hate to see somebody who leave
Oh, that meat on that bone.
Don't you hate that? It's just you just ordered 20 wings.
It looked like 10 still there. You said you done. Here's another 10 wings right there.
And it piss off somebody who see the value because you see it's still some food left. But yet they wasteful. They don't care.
Yep.
That's what this same situation. There's a value out there. Look at your dance teams. Look at your bands. Look at your sports team. Just look at the stories. Go around and find the influencers on your campus. There are people on your campuses with hundreds of thousands of followers, and you don't even have no clue they there. Yet they showing their life and lifestyle every day. And you ain't even incorporated them in nothing you're doing. But say we don't have. You got a department over there with a department head with professors and students willing and ready, but you saying what we don't have. You have people that are grant writers and go out and lobby for your school.
Yeah.
And you saying what you don't have. The world is shifting, going in a different direction. And clearly it's digital media. And I rang this alarm 10 years ago. And here we are again, 10 years later, and you're still telling me what we don't have when you can clearly do it. I'm at home, Scotty at home. We doing this. We're not in the studio. We ain't got a production truck outside his house and my house.
Nope.
But we got to start somewhere. We got to have a vision. We got to have a plan. We got to spend some money to make some money, and don't be afraid to do it ourselves, because in this world today, it is a do-it-yourself world. That's why YouTube, I call it YouTube University. Let something break in your house. Don't you go straight to YouTube and try to figure out how to change something.
Boy, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
There used to be a day where you had to call somebody. Now YouTube, man, look, let me change this light front.
TikTok and YouTube, boy, I'll be on that day trying to figure it out. Let me take this caller. 0187 coming to you.
Hey, Scott and Perry, this here again, man. Y'all own it. But look, I was thinking about this while y'all was talking. Think about this for a second. What is ESPN? They have a logo. What it's the ES and the PN, right?
Yeah.
What would an HBCU logo look like? What would the theme be like? You know, ESPN got that da-na-na, da-na-na. What would an HBCU look like?
Oh man, appreciate the call. We're gonna answer your question. When we get what would it look like? HBCU. Ooh.
That's why you bring them youngsters in and let that creative mind in the world that they live in go to work.
Listen, I'll tell you this. Any intro gotta be with a snare. Any intro, I don't give a damn what's I don't give a damn what you talking about. Any snare gotta be a hey.
And listen, don't all our schools got music programs because we all got bands?
Yeah.
Anybody at one of these schools can write us a theme song.
Yeah.
Come up. Once again, there is the resources are right there.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, put that on the band. Hey, man, we need one of these band directors. Put it to all of them, then we'll pick the best one. Hey, come up with a theme song. Write us a theme song.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it can be unique.
It got to be a band. It got to be something with a band. It can still be people rapping or whatever you want to do, because you know me, I like putting rap over stuff like that. But it needs to be something with a band. Okay, if it's the count, I don't know, y'all do the little whistle stuff, and then you know you start it up, you know, whatever. But it got to be something like that. Now the logo,
it can go all types of ways.
How I would do it is probably I would make it up with like I want to do like mascots, like, you know, or maybe I don't know, maybe like names and put it. I don't know. That's kind of corny and a little bit. Everybody does that. I don't know, man. Just
that's type of stuff where you sit down and you got brilliant minds in there to be able to come up with that. They're brilliant people on our campuses.
Yeah.
People are coming up with their own branding and marketing every day and coming up, going viral on social media, coming up with their own stuff. We know two people don't let coming in and figure it out. That's Mike and Mr. Campbell. They can't come up with no.
Dog, don't leave nothing to them, okay?
Damn you in Jackson State. I thought
it'll be 2027 before we get anything. Don't leave nothing to them, bro. Don't leave nothing to them. And I mean that on everything, okay? I mean that on do not leave nothing to them. They won't get back with you in time. They won't back brief you, nothing. They just out here just doing their own thing.
And most of all, people, once again, when you do this conference, imagine what this is like if you can do this programming, and then each one of these presidents come together, discuss with their ADs from the commission on down, and say, the first way we're going to start to funnel the channel is student tuition fees. If we can just get $50 from each student on every one of these campuses, you know how much money that'll generate to get us started?
Yeah.
To get this rolling. Then you start to add in the marketing, the sponsorships or whatever else, the commercial ad space. Because that's the other time we haven't talked about. You got commercial ad space you can sell. There are plenty of companies that want to target a Black audience. Clearly, LRG gave Mr. I Ain't Fresh a deal because they knew Black folks wear LRG.
Yeah.
And then they gonna look at him and then they may go order something off their site. That's why they did the deal with him.
Yeah.
There are plenty of companies out there that want to do deals with us. We spend, come on, what hair company don't want? Every girl at a HBCU damn near wearing weave. Trying to make sure it's laid. And trust me, on every video you see on that channel with a on that HBCU programming. It's gonna be weave all throughout it.
Yeah.
Makeup,
wigs, all that. I need all that.
Tampons, whatever the hell the case may be. Apparel, whatever the case may be. Each one of them. Come on, man. Start with the student fees. I mean, look, if you start with every school and then you channel that back, that goes into the overall general pot. Now, the overall general pot is how we're going to be able to move it. And see, you can't change it if you got it in guidelines and policies. So no matter what president, what AD, what commissioner come in, it's already structured together. The problem we have, go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, let me, because I hate when people try to get me because y'all ain't never gonna get me. If you remember what you said, Ram, you said $4.99. You had like $4.99 with ads and then $7.99 with no ads. Who is that supposed to fund? Like what is that supposed to fund? Now it is hard. That's why I'm such a stickler on how much the price is, right? Because at the end of the day, we have to support our own. Corporate ads, and yeah, like Barry said, ad sales, I'm just saying they're not as much as white media, right? That's why it has to be expensive because white media gets ad dollars like it's nothing. Black media does not. So why would I be waiting and thinking, oh, we're going to get all this money from corporate ads when we probably are not? So yes, my price is going to be higher because we have to support our own. That's my point. This still ain't enough. I feel like the mama on Friday. That ain't enough. Make it enough. Like that ain't enough.
Y'all not really about, if that's what your mindset is.
We can't talk.
You getting more than a game that you getting on 10.90. So okay, let's break this down. ESPN Plus. You pay $10.99 a month, right? Let's say your team is Mississippi Valley, right? Yeah. They gonna stream Valley game on there. You got ESPN Plus. How many other games you think streaming on that same day, on that Saturday, Scott?
Too many. Probably about, on the same Saturday, all throughout, probably about at least over 40, 50 games.
Okay, so you're going to pay $10.99 to specifically watch one game. And then once you log off, don't give a damn about none of them other games to watch them in their entirety or to even click on them. Now we're talking about a whole damn network of all the schools. Give you everything you want. It ain't one game on one day of the week. You're not watching ESPN Plus every day. You're watching ESPN Plus on that Saturday or that Thursday. Now you got something you can watch every day with nonstop unlimited program, not just one game for 3 hours on one day because of your particular team. Then you don't even go back into that app. You done paid $10.99 basically to watch that for 4 times in a month. When now you talking about paying $30 to $50 something you can watch every day. Something you can sit your kids in front of and watch. Something you can sit the fam. The programming is a lot more than y'all thinking in just one game being shown. And then I watch that game and I log out. You got unlimited programming coming from all institutions. That is worth the price of admission. So stop looking at it in the sense of what you're doing when you're watching that game on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. And
you got programming.
I love this. Put them old games on there too. Them throwback.
You can do all that.
Woo! You put them old games on there. I want that old thing back. Them old championships, the old swag celebration, all that. I need all that back.
Show the Heritage Bowl something.
I need all that content. I need
learn about Steve McNair damn near won the Heisman at Alcorn. How many young folks know that? Hell, they weren't born, they weren't around.
Yeah.
It's just your history. It's a lot of stuff to put out there.
Yeah.
And it's a ton. And then you got the people, that's a lot, man. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's saying it's too high. Yeah, because you thinking in the sense of that one game that you typically go watch. You're not going to pay $50 to ESPN Plus to watch that one game. But you want to pay $50 that every time you turn on, you damn near can fall asleep because you'll been watching something that got so interesting and you can just let it roll.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me say this. This is the mindset that kills me, right? $70.99 with what's that, 100,000 subscribers? Okay. $19.99 at 100,000 subscribers. $24.99 at 100. Like, anybody can make their argument at any point in time. Like, if that's the number you want to go with, I can make my same argument at $24.99. Now you done missed out on $17 and I haven't. And I can make just as much money with half the subscribers. That's what you're not. See, that's what people see. This is what people don't understand. If I raise the price, I make more money with less. So if I do hit my $100,000 target, I just made more money than you. If I only go to 50,000, I still made more money. I still make the same amount of money. So that's the thing for me. That's the thing for me.
And how many people before Hulu and all of those how many people went to Peacock just to get the subscription when Fresh Prince came out?
Yeah, that was me. I was out of that joint. Wow.
My point exactly. Like, you went over there to pay just to watch a show, and then you didn't watch nothing else on that network.
Nah. Same thing with Stars, with Power. Ooh, I jump on Stars. Once that thing, I'm out. All right, once Power was over, I'm out. I'm done.
So that's my thing with everybody. Look, you can pull out, but at the same time, you can stay in there. And you can keep going. You can continue to support. And if you really love HBCUs like you do, you will support. And guess what? Somebody who don't know about HBCUs, say Chicago, let's just say somewhere Minnesota, let's say Washington, let's say California, they may be inclined because they like, damn, I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
They will subscribe because I didn't know. This is entertaining. This is my culture. I didn't even know my culture was like this. I never seen this where I live. Hell yeah, they'll subscribe. So stop thinking it'll deter people and to stop people. That's why you got to market it through small clips through your social media. Don't you get caught every time watching a small clip that drives you to the overall video?
Yep.
You watch something, it's like, damn, that was 30 seconds. Where the rest of this video at?
Let me see. So people just be talking. Who said Peacock? Okay, I'm glad you said that, right? Peacock. Let me show you this, because people don't understand. People just be out here talking. Right? But you don't see how much they lost. Right? It says right here, it says Flash Hip Streamer had reached 28 million subscribers after adding 4 million during the latest quarter, and did so on a narrow loss of $565 million. The studio streaming service lost $614 million a year ago.
Say it a little louder for the people in the back.
I said they lost $614 million a year ago. You out here talking about some $5.99. I'm trying to show you what it costs to run these jokers. That's what you're talking about. And now, mind you, Peacock is ran by NBC. So they got NBC money. So even with 28 million subscribers, they're still losing money. So you have to understand the business model that you're in and understand they get all the ad money and still losing money.
And it ain't nothing like controlling your own shit. Saying what I can do when I want to do. And guess what? When this thing build value, people gonna come knocking. Isn't that what happened with BET?
That's exactly what happened to BET.
I don't think when BET first started, people thought it was gonna be as successful as it was. But guess what? People came knocking. You got a direct door to the black community. Damn. What was them little I forgot them little hair kits for the little girls. They had the little girl with the Borettes and Newport cigarette. Everybody was targeting that market for black folks. Camel cigarettes, you saw all those commercials. You just saw everything targeted. Look, you build it, they will come.
You build it, they will come.
Jump off the porch. I think a lot of people scared because it's uncharted territory, and you have never had to be held accountable or responsible to do something yourself, and you don't know what it's like. Guess what? Scotty started the show. I started my show. We jumped off the porch. We didn't know what it was going to look like. I'm sure when Scotty started, he didn't think he'd be here at this point like this, the same way I didn't. But we had to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We had to grow. To show what it looks like today didn't look like in its inception, did it? Like anything, it changes. It evolves. You watch the old to learn what to do now for the new. Don't be afraid.
Absolutely.
This is possible. It is very much possible, but we all got to get on board. These ADs, these presidents and chancellors, and the SWAC commissioner. The commissioner, being in a position that he is, has to make it urgent to say, everybody, we need to take a look at this. We have value. What are we doing with it? I just can't go to ESPN and talk sports value because our value as institutions are different from any other schools because our value is far beyond sports.
Absolutely.
When we looking at our game on ESPN, we trying to hear the band in the background. You trying to see if they go. It's just so much more that you would rather see and hear with that game. Let alone then you got the culture just outside the field in the basketball.
Let me say, oh man, now you're getting somewhere, P. Oh. If you're putting your own games on, could the rule now change that the bands can play during the game?
Well, the thing is, you're going to highlight that because you're putting on your own production. So you're going to actually get to see the zero quarter in the fifth quarter and not try to hear the bands battling in the game because you're trying to catch the culture in this condensed space of broadcasting the game. Now you got this platform. You ain't got to worry about trying to catch that in the game. You get to watch the zero quarter. And then
what I'm saying is people used to talk about the 90s football of it was different because the bands were more involved in the game. Mm-hmm. Now that you're broadcasting your own game in your own conference, because what I was told was the reason that they did it, that's the NCAA SWAC rule, isn't the reason that they did it was because of TV, right? They said the reason that they did it is because of TV. So my thing is if you're broadcasting your own game and you're doing it through your own stuff, could it be that you now take that rule out and now you bring the band back into play within the game and it be different?
I don't think you could do that because you're still going to be playing under guidelines from like the NCAA and everything. Because it's not like you starting your own league. You just producing your own game. You still going to have to follow the rules because whether I have a SWAC game or I go play, let's just say Northwestern State tomorrow, I still won't be able to play. Because what if Northwestern State come and then that's just happened to be one of the games I
was just thinking within the conference. I was just thinking within the conference. If we play conference games, that would be we just be like, hey man,
Yeah, I think you stick to what you have now because now I'm going to give you the zero quarter. ESPN not going to show you that. I'm going to give you the fifth quarter when the game over. I'm going to give you every bit of the band that you want before, during, and after the game because now you got halftime as well. I'm going to give you everything that you want. So no, I don't think you got to change it, especially when you're getting that all together from the beginning to the end.
That's fair. All right, last point, P, before we get up out of here. Because, hey, today was what?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
That's what we was doing today.
Put our names up there so they can see who they dealing with. They don't know who they fucking with, Scott. You got to come on here and do this, man, and look.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on
I like that.
Hey, man, just anybody that's listening, whether you watch it live or you're going to watch this later, pass this around, share this. This is an idea. This is what we got to do as a community, right? Somebody got to start somewhere. We young brothers, right? We're not the old heads who've been in the business 30, 40 years with these high positions and high titles and be in a position to gatekeep. We're the next generation. We young brothers, obviously, we in this digital media space now. Obviously, we see where it's going. And just think of the fact that we took the time to acknowledge and understand what this major network is doing and then look at the overall performance and what they're dealing with and then how they're trying to pivot. That alone, because how many other shit, we ain't on here talking about no fashion. We ain't on here talking about Diddy. We ain't on here talking about gossip. We're talking about business.
Fact.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
And even if I'm in the room, the meeting room with all the big wigs, I might throw that on and hit you with that standing on business.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
You know why? Because that's our culture. And that's what we telling you. Everybody else making money off of it and they selling it. And then here we are still acting like it ain't our culture, but we creating it every day. Our point is, let's find a way to do this. We need to be planning 5, 10 years down the line. We shouldn't keep having to depend on ESPN, HBCU, Go TV, and all these other people. We got it ourselves. We got the infrastructure.
Yeah.
We just got to bring it together. It's like having a puzzle. Yeah, it look good when you look on the box and it's all put together. Then you pour it out. It look a little tough, don't it? But guess what? It takes time and take patience. You got to start putting the pieces together, and eventually it comes together. You get that left side, you get that right side, then you get the middle. Boom, you got something, but you got to start somewhere. You can't keep telling me why you can't put the puzzle together. Eventually, you got to put it together and realize that you got that work, you have those resources, and you got those people on your campus. We got to stop ignoring it. You got the value with your social media presence. Your band has social media, your athletics has social media, your school has social media, and the thousands of students on your campus have social media. And their social media presence is just as important. Start to figure out and target what kids on our campus do have big social media presence. We need to bring them into a lot of the shit that we do.
Yeah.
We need to incorporate them because that's going to help you. And then the same way with your sports, the same way with this network. Put it back on the screen. You got the network so they can see the layout of how it looks. That right there. Those are your stories. Have a annual conference every year and bring everybody together and do real work. Bring keynote speakers in from different media companies, different tech places, social media to give you the idea what the work is. That's what's happening now when you go to a conference. There's a keynote speaker that's telling you how this arena is evolving.
Yep.
It is changing. They do it in real estate. They do it in insurance. They do it in education. The ever-growing, changing world that's around you and how you can keep up with it. It ain't no difference with having a conference and having a layout and doing the same thing. And in the meantime, while you got HBCU Go TV and ESPN both in your pockets, send your students to them and make it work their while. They coming to your campus. When they come to your campus, my students gonna shadow your folks until y'all leave. Hell, I even want to see how y'all hook the trailer up. Show me everything. How y'all plug the simple one plug in. Show everything. Soak up everything you can.
Yep.
And then take it and use it. So that's my thing, man. You got grant writers. You got folks that go out and lobby for you. You got departments. You have fashion departments. You got marketing. You got branding. You got PR. You have mass comm. You got a lot of people right there on your campus. Incorporate them into what you do. Find that money out there and then grow your programs. Don't let the mass comm departments collect dust. Don't let them students settle for less, having to do some, they just out here doing anything. Give them firsthand access and then find your social media influencers and then incorporate them into what you do to market what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody want to see themselves on something. That's the name of the game today. That's why everybody want to go viral. Everybody wants to see a view. Everybody wants that one shot.
Yep.
Well, if you put it on the network and somebody see themselves, guess what they gonna do? Did y'all see me on the network?
Take me out.
Mama, you gonna have to, okay, how much it costs? Okay, I'm gonna go on there and watch the show. I gotta pay $50. Cool. It's just a mindset. And we gotta be able to be prepared to do business. Hit me with it.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
To do business. And I'm talking beyond raffle tickets. Like that one, don't you? We got to be able to be prepared to do our thing. We capable. Now more than ever, it is accessible for us to do our own thing. It ain't the yesteryears, 1990 in the early 2000s, where you couldn't do it. It was tough. It was hard.
Yeah.
Look, every school, $100,000 investment in just some type of equipment, listen, will go a long way. Am I lying though? What you think? What would $100,000 do for us just for this production?
Man, listen, we changed the game out here in these streets, boy. We
So
changed the
imagine
game out
that
here.
$100,000
Changed the game out here.
investment, what that can do for you to be able to change the narrative and what your school look like. Because at the end of the day, I will say this, you got to continue to go out and look for the new customer, and that's the young people. And giving them young people, showing them college life, giving young people college experience, giving young people to see a band. You may turn a kid into a band head, never even knew about a damn band.
Facts.
Want to go be a dancer, didn't even know they could dance.
Facts.
Want to go play sports, found out about your biology program and want to come to your school because your biology program, along with the experiences that they see go along with it, is going to gravitate to them. That's the new customer.
That's facts.
You are in the business of generating new customers. Go out there and get that customer and stop depending on people just with the arrogance that if they want to be here, they're going to be here. They got options. They go wherever they want. Show them why they should be here, because clearly there's a misunderstanding of what really happens at our HBCUs, and we can paint a picture to a student who would never even knew it. Lives in Denver, lives in Minneapolis. Hell, can live right there in Baton Rouge where I'm at and don't even know what's going on in Southern.
Facts.
Because you know why? Their parents got a little money now. They go to that white school over there, that white influence. They see what LSU doing all day, because that's what they friends showing. Them influencers showing you LSU. Plus LSU is doing what? Spending money in digital media and marketing, and gonna show you everything about that, what they do.
Yep.
They know what that means to go out and get the new customer. They trying to keep that 30, 40,000 enrollment while we just trying to get 5,000 students at some of these campuses.
Facts.
We got to understand it. They know the importance of putting out constant content for athletics, because they realize how important athletics is. It's the front door to every institution. Athletics is a revenue. They understand that. Not just them, but many of those other PWIs. We got it too. There's no reason 70,000, 60,000, and 50,000 people show up to our classics, right?
Mm-hmm.
To our homecomings, to our probates, to our battle of the bands. There's a lot more. Think about your local campus pageant. That one pageant. Southern used to have a pageant. I don't know if they still do it. Thicker than a snicker. Boy, you had to be at that pageant. Miss Thicker than a snicker. Yeah, you like that?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
I like that.
Miss Thicker than a snicker. Oh man, you can't get in there.
Well, that need to be national. I need that to be national.
Oh, that Miss Thicker than a snicker pageant, man. Look, you don't miss that. We there. And we in there. Because it gave the big girls an opportunity to showcase, because big girls are pretty too and got talent. And they come in there and a while you right quick, like, damn, now you looking like, boy, I might hit that. You know, you know.
Listen, sponsored by Snicker.
Hey.
Oh man, let me get this caller real quick. 0265 coming to you.
Yo, you guys are talking about some really good stuff, Scotty.
What's going on?
Good stuff. Thank you for the topic, man. Listen, I just want to add to what Perry said, and it goes back into like how we do business. Like I told you before, we should be putting out our content. I think the PWI, especially the larger schools, understand that. While Perry hit on something, we'll brag about having 8,000 people at homecoming or whatever thousand people at homecoming. But we'll never tell you how many of them went to the game or actually bought a ticket to come into the gate. Or we'll say, hey, we got this many people at the tailgate spot, but how many of them paid for a tailgate spot? We got 1,000 people came to the, what you call a probate show, but how many of them people actually gave money to the school? So, you know, like we got to settle down and put things in perspective and be intentional about how we want to do business and how we want to release content. It's an easy sell. You guys already said it. Your students could be your producers. Your students could be your writers. Your students can be your videographer. Whatever. We got to tap into our sources that we have, man. And I think like the paywall, that's all I hear is paywall. All right, let's do something about it. I hear schools say that all the time. We're going to do the spring game behind a paywall. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's just one avenue. And we think we're going to make $1 million off a spring game behind a paywall?
Yeah.
It's not possible. But let's have content.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the word content is to have multiple things, multiple avenues of content. It's like money, multiple streams of money. That's all I'm saying. That's all. You guys are doing a great job, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you.
And think about this, Scotty. It can fall in so many different ways, right? You got the overall one from the SWAC, where the SWAC plucking different programming from each school. Then the school got its own programming that they can keep with all of that they have and run it on for the avid fan of that particular school. If I just love FAMU,
Yeah, I just want to watch my FAMU stuff.
you just got FAMU.
Yeah.
But for the people for the overall conference, then you got the SWAC. That's 2 revenues now, because now the overall with the SWAC bringing in ad and marketing, then the one with the school God damn it, just continues to multiply. Because it ain't like you can continue to show all of this content on that one network, but then you can switch it and then say, hey, if you like particular FAMU, here's everything FAMU.
Yeah.
If you like particularly Southern, here's everything Southern.
Yeah.
But if you want to see everybody, here's everybody. This is the main network.
Yeah.
That same thing, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, ESPN Classic. It's the same shit. What?
That's true. No, that's
Isn't
funny.
it the same thing?
That's all the same thing, just different spots. Different
You
spots.
got the umbrella, then you break it down.
Yeah, I'm still on that thicker than the snicker. I think
that's thicker than the snicker.
Hey, I think that hit right there. You do a whole reality show thicker than the snicker. That's viral. Okay.
And you gotta be at that pageant down there like 2 hours early if you try to. Hey, you show up too late, you're gonna be looking out the door. You're gonna be looking behind everybody because it's packed out.
Hey, that might be a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
You know how many people would love to see them honeybees at Alabama State making that line?
Yeah.
That's a value.
Yeah.
People love the Dancing Dolls so much. ESPN came in last year and followed the Dancing Dolls a whole football. They did it not on the band, the damn Dancing Dolls.
Yeah.
ESPN. You know why? They said, damn, there's some value in that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that lady us in Jackson that was talking about Southern with the whole Dancing Doll
Yeah,
thing?
DD Forel. Yeah.
Why is she even in the position that she's in? A dance line that a network came in and saw the value in it. And it became such a problem that her value became bumping heads with our value.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot that's there. If it wasn't no value between the two, you would have never heard about the two having issues, right?
Mm-mm.
Point blank period. How many little league teams out there got big major the Chiefs?
Hey,
the East Side Rams.
That Friday Night Tykes, I used to love that show. Boy, them little Friday Night Tykes, I used to love them little junkers hitting pow. Boy, I used to love them. Hey, 7431 coming to you.
Yo, Scotty, this Bridges.
What's up, Bridges? Talk to me.
What's up, man? Y'all talking about all the good stuff. We forgot the one main thing that black people love.
What?
Food, tailgating, barbecuing, cafeteria, fried chicken Wednesdays, fish Fridays. What about the Food Network? You know, every cafeteria, every caf got their own signature food, and every spot in HBCU has their own place that everybody go to. Like, they can start a whole food network, HBCU Food Network.
That's not a bad idea, but listen, I like it, but it ain't gonna be bigger than that, thicker than the Snicker. It ain't gonna
let that one go.
It ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do no numbers compared to Snicker. You talking about black women? Now, I don't know how the competition worked. Maybe in jeans, you probably do some denims first, then probably do a little beach wear or something like that.
It was your regular pageant. They did everything, talent, it all. Like they had no shame in their game, brother. These were the most confident, thicker than the Snickers that you can find on campus. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on that one. I'm stuck on that.
Oh, you want to see Lizzo?
But Perry, let me ask you this: how was the talent show part of it? Because you can have that. I bet the talent show part of it was the turn up. I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it varied. You know, you'll have a chick get up there and can sing her ass off, and you've been seeing her. You never knew she could sing. You know, could dance. It went all type of ways. Somebody come up there and do poetry. You know, the talent, or could play an instrument, be on a piano. It was just amazing because you get to learn. That was the whole beautiful thing about pageants and why I used to like going to them on campus. You got to learn about somebody who you probably saw every day or had a class with and had no idea that she looked like that in a swimsuit. You know, that she could play or she can sing or dance the way, like, you just don't know.
Ooh, I like this. Hey, appreciate the call though, B. Hey, somebody said the dorm makeovers. Oh, that would be fire. Make over my dorm room. Oh, that would be absolutely, man. Y'all some
like cribs. Hey, come check out and then you get ideas on how to do your dorm.
Oh man, y'all, I'm writing these down, man. I like that. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I like that. That's fire. 2197 coming to you. Now y'all been coming out the woodworks with ideas. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? What's going on, Perry? Man, I love the show. I love everything y'all talking about today, man. I'm out here on this West Coast, man, so our exposure to the HBCU should definitely be increased because, you know what I'm saying, it's real limited out here. But as you guys are talking about all these innovative ways to try to sell a package, right, I think you have to include all of those things, man. If you can, you got to include the sports, but you also got to include, like, the battle of the bands, the fraternities, the thicker than the snicker in some type of way. If you can get that in, right, the food, I think it has to be an all-encompassing type of package. I think if you can achieve that, it makes it a lot more sellable and it makes it a lot more attractive to people because they're not just tuning in to see sports, right? They're tuning in to see lifestyle. And I think where we at today, people love to see lifestyle, man. So I think that's something to take into consideration that these schools need to try to do to you know what I'm saying, boost up their profile, boost up their value, and make the product more attractive to investors. You know what I mean?
No,
so that's what I got.
No, I love it. I love the idea, man. Thank you so much for the call. I hear that Cali all up in you, man.
Absolutely. Much love, brothers. Much love.
Great, appreciate it.
Scotty,
What's
can
up?
I tell you why I know it's capable to be done?
What's up?
I did it myself. That's how I even got started. The whole on the yard thing, how I started on the yard with my boy Garrett Edgerson. Garrett was doing stuff with the band and I was doing stuff on the sports. We came together and I had to probably be like a junior. What I did was sat down with him and we came up with a plan. The plan was, all right, let's do a weekly show via YouTube, which is how I even got to this point, called On the Yard, right? Everybody called their campus, hey, did you go on the yard? What year was you on the yard?
Yeah.
We heard that. So on the yard, we was like, well, let's tell the stories because at that time, it was like when you heard the stories of, at that time for Southern, from the media was always painting the bad. Somebody got killed near Southern University. Do you hear about this bad story at Southern University? And I was like, there's a ton of stories on this campus. So what I would do when it's Pretty Wednesday, I go out, record, talk to people on Pretty Wednesday, ask them questions about the upcoming game, whatever, just campus life. I'll go tell a story of a student who may be excelling in the classroom. I'll go talk to an alum who just opened up a local business here that other alums who may not know, go support that alum. They're Southern, you Southern. I sit down and talk to the administrators. Do back behind the scenes stuff with the football team. Do behind the stuff with the band. So I'm telling you, it can be done because if you just want to see it, go to my On the Yard Network page and go all the way to the beginning and you will see everything that I did. I went and highlighted programs, talking to the tennis coach, the volleyball coach, the baseball coach. That's really how I got to know a lot of people on top of meeting alums, talking to them, telling their stories. It can be done. And I did that with Garrett back in 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
It was tougher then compared to today more than ever. So I know it can be done. When I was putting people on that digital media wave at that time, going to Southern, going to the SWAC, I got ignored. The SWAC took one of my ideas. I keep telling you, the guy, Jasheer Cox, I think he's at Tuskegee. He was at the SWAC office. I thought we was cool, Jasheer. You took the SWAC experience. Tell me I'm lying, okay? I had did that before I started on the yard called SWAC Experience. They took the model and tried it and damn near tried to imitate it, did their own little thing. I at them on Twitter. Twitter was jumping at that time. Since you think I wasn't on Twitter, I was using Twitter and I said, hey, instead of taking my idea, y'all could have brought me in and had me work with y'all. You know what they did? I got blocked on all social media after that. Kept going to Southern saying, hey, man, I'm on to something. What I was doing, and I'll tell you how I set up the structure, how I know how you could do it. After we filmed the show and I did it, I went to the library early in the morning on a Monday. I had the email list of every Southern University alumni chapter. That's
him.
That's where he at now.
At Allen University.
Man, listen. I thought I was cool with the dude, man.
That's him, right?
Yeah, Jasheer Cox. How many Jasheer Cox
I
out there.
just want to make sure he look a little zesty. I'm just.
Well, he was at the SWAC office. Then I think he went to Tuskegee.
Look a little zesty.
But
I'm sorry.
what I would do was I sat in that library, bro, and I went to the Alumni Federation house and asked them, could I get a list of every alumni chapter in the country and who the president was? Now, this is me doing my due diligence. I sat in the library, and every episode that we did and we lunched, I went through every alumni chapter president and sent them the link to the show and said, hey, can you share this with your members so they can see what's going on at Southern in their area? Right? Because you could be in Dallas want to know what the hell going on Southern campus because you always ask the question. I started doing that. Then I looked at every HBCU media space, HBCU Buzz, HBCU Pride Nation, all of those, HBCU Sports, the Tom Joyner Foundation. I emailed all the people in their media departments the show. Yeah. And at that time, they was actually putting the stuff out. Tom Joyner Foundation was showing episodes of On the Yard, On the Cruise, and everything else. So it can be done. If I can sit there and do it and create the product and then send it out and market it myself, I'm sure it definitely can be done. I'm just a one-man show.
It can. It absolutely can. But, you know, man, it's been I feel like for people, this is what it's all about, is having a melting pot of ideas and coming up with the best product possible. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I get this funding, thicker than a Snicker campus tour, it's coming to a town near you. Okay,
man. Hey, you love that now, though.
Oh, I'm not letting that go, bro. Where Mama Body at? Mama Body said it. She said thicker than a Snicker. Yeah. That thicker than a Snicker campus tour. It's coming to a city near you. Yes, it is. Yes, sir, it is. I promise to God, it is. I'm doing that.
But look at it. The same thing with this network, Scotty, like I'm talking about. Just let's break it down for the understanding. We got alumni federations out there. When we're pubbing this stuff, we ain't got to just worry about social media.
Yeah.
And you got the emails to these alumni federations.
Yeah. And these Facebook groups and all type of stuff. Yeah.
Send that link and pub that out there.
Yeah.
Get to every school and find out every alumni chapter that they got around the country and their alumni presence and city. Because guess what? They're going to then show, because all these chapters, they cannot wait to tell kids about Southern and Grambling and Jackson in those cities who don't get to see these schools. So if you got the LA chapter or the Chicago chapter and these SWAC schools aren't playing up there, guess what? They're looking for content so they can show them kids around there to say, man, there's a reason I ride with these Southern flags and I wear this Southern shirt.
Absolutely.
That's the value.
Because that thicker than the Snicker contest.
It's Miss thicker than a Snicker.
Miss thicker than a Snicker. Let me make sure I put that. Yes. I ain't letting it go.
You love that one?
I ain't letting that one go. I ain't gonna let that one go. I ain't gonna even hold you on that one.
Y'all share this, man. I hope the powers that be here. And y'all see that. We're branded and marketing consultants. Y'all see that. Call us in.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah,
Put your pride aside. We good.
Do that.
We sit here, we talk business today. We didn't chastise nobody.
Nope, nobody.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Except Jassier Cox. He's a little zesty.
And Jassier, if you didn't do that, let me know, bro. Because, hey, I at y'all at that time. Let me know if that wasn't you. If that wasn't you, then okay. But you were in that position at the time.
I'll tell you this. The guy said, man, you finna be on the couch. Listen, my wife could be a part of the Miss Thicker than the Snickers. I was like, what you talking about? and win, okay? And win. Because she can sing and she thick. Okay? So we making that national. Okay? We making that national. Okay? So
like that overall Miss Thicker than the Snicker, huh? Damn, you like that.
That's a win. That's a win.
But we get every school have they Miss Thicker than a Snicker pageant, and then the winner, we do the overall national.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a campus tour.
We just coming up with shit on. I'm talking about. Damn. One day, Scotty, somebody gonna be like, you know what? Here go. I'm paying y'all. Y'all come in. Y'all do programming, huh?
This is a good one. Black film movie review. I like that. That's dope. I like that.
And we got plenty of celebrities. Everybody love when they see Lance Gross in places and What's my guy? Shit, you got to go. What's the man, the director at FAMU?
The dude who did Will Packer. Will Packer.
We got people who we can reach out to.
Nationals in Miami. Miss Body be thinking, okay? Miss Body be thinking.
No,
okay?
we got to do it like everybody else. We in Atlanta with it.
Yeah,
we in Atlanta with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got to take Miss Sticker than the Snickerware in Atlanta. Come on.
Okay, it makes sense though. It does.
We got to go to Atlanta with it.
It does make sense.
The Miss Sticker than the Snicker pageant. But yeah, I got all these celebrities, man.
He said who wins? I think it's between FAMU and Southern. I think that it'll be
Just
between.
slow down, brother. You don't know because it's some schools out here to shock you. It's some country girls at UAPB. It's some country girls at Alcorn. You ain't never even seen what they got over in Valley, have you? Look, and some over there on the East Coast may blow our mind coming out of Morgan State.
Yeah. You know, them Maryland girls, they probably ain't gonna do much.
Like I'm just telling you, like, hey, you be surprised with what they come up out of. Like, damn, I didn't even know it was like that.
He said, yes, Lord. If that ain't programming, I don't know what is, okay? That is high level. Who wouldn't want to pay $29.99 for that, okay?
You see that Miss Sticker than the Snicker pageant?
What? Okay, now people like, hey, you know, I think I got $29.99.
And then it's pub for the school because now she attends Alabama State. Just so you know, she's an Alabama State student, majoring in whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head. But hey, I gotta get up out of here. I got a meeting I gotta get to. But hey, guys, listen. Like Perry said, make sure you share this, send it to somebody. Make sure to the powers that be. Make sure we can make this happen, man.
This should be the most viewed show ever.
Ever.
If you're looking for young people that say to make change the world, evolve, get ideas. We ain't on here gossiping. Everybody else right now coming up off Diddy. We ain't even focusing on that. We talking about how to make our HBCUs better. We didn't down nobody. It wasn't petty. It was great thinking. It was constructive criticism. And at the same time, it was constructive thinking. This the stuff that should be shared 1 million times.
Absolutely. Because we was what?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Standing on business. Hey,
Dr.
listen.
Charles McClellan, what's up?
See now you see.
What's up? Holla at us.
Hey, listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm a holler. God bless.